Hello, everybody. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. So, earlier I reacted to Neo Taro's reading on Foodie, and what timing! Mr. Snowflake just released episode 5 in the series on Foodie Beauty. So, it's not a good day for Foodie. No, it's not. She's just getting hit from all sides, isn't she? She did her live earlier, it looked boring to me. I haven't looked at all of it yet. I decided to go ahead and react to Neo Tarot because that's much more interesting. And I just got through watching the episode from Mr. Snowflake, and well done, Mr. Snowflake. Well done, sir. Really good work because it showcases just how unhinged Chantal can be. So, for anybody on Chantal's side of the fence that you're a new beezer and you weren't around during Crackhead Olympics, you kind of get a small side view of everything that everybody in girl world got exposed to for 6 to 10 hours a day, every day. So I want to sit down and react to it with all of y'all. Before we get into it, though, there's something I'd like to show you. We're not doing Twitter peeps for this react because the react itself is going to be long. I know it is because Mr. Snowflake's documentary went on for an hour. So I'm anticipating that my react will go on for like 2 or 3 hours. But I did want to show you guys something interesting. So as I was in the premiere of the video in the live chat with everybody, somebody reported that Chantal was on her community post and she was raging. So she was watching the documentary. She was in the room. She was watching. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, she was. And what did Foodie have to say? Well, here's what she said. She said, thanks for the new subs. Whoever made another documentary about me. LOL. I will ask this, though. Why does a man feel he can put a spin on a woman's blank story? I was an entire mess 3 years ago and counting, but no matter what I did, no matter how hooked I was, it never gave the right to the blinker to lay a hand on me. Just a nice reminder of that. As for anything from my past, I will never speak on it again, no matter how many times people try to reanimate it. It's over for me, and I am more than grateful to be where I am now. Make all the docs you want, just gives my channel attention, makes you look like a blanker sympathizer, and really highlights how much of my life has changed for the better. So that was the community post. Now, here are my thoughts. Let's start with the first line. Thanks for the new subs, whoever made another doc about me. She knows exactly who made the documentary about her. She was probably in the room watching. She knows about Mr. Snowflake, and she knows about him making a series of videos on her and also Amberlyn Reed. But she didn't want to say Mr. Snowflake's name because, in my opinion, she didn't want her new beezers to see it and for them to get a glimpse on all this stuff that happened during Crackhead Olympics. As far as why does a man feel he can put a spin on a woman's blank story? What spin? What spin? What did Mr. Snowflake do? He just showed your clips, Foodie, the ones that you chose to do. All those live streams, all those videos, you decided to put that out on YouTube yourself. You decided to make that kind of content and monetize it. And you know what they say, the internet is forever. So this is not a he said, she said type of situation. This is somebody just gathering together clips and putting them together into a timeline to form a story. And because there's so many of them, anybody watching the documentary can see that there is a pattern of behavior with you. The way you are, the way you behave, the way you talk to people, and the fact that you're a toxic, abusive, hurtful person. Here we go. I was an entire mess for 3 years ago. You're an entire mess now, Foodie. What's changed? Your clothing? That's pretty much about it. But no matter what I did, no matter how hooked I was, I never gave the right to the blinker. You're excusing away your bad behavior. You're trying to just gloss past that part, and you can't. You cannot, because it's on video. It was you saying those things. It was you doing those things. And there's plenty of proof out there. There's all kinds of reaction channels, archive channels. We've got our public record of the way you were, what you did, when you did it, all of it. And you hate that. You hate the fact that, girl world, we have our records and you can't get rid of them no matter what you do. It never gave the right to the blanker to lay a hand on me. In my opinion, he never laid a hand on you. Why do I say that? Because, Chantal, because when he walked in the room, you never flinched. You never looked afraid. You were never afraid of him, ever. Not once, not ever. You were never afraid of Natter. Yeah, I'm going to say his name, Natter. You were never afraid of him. You were so comfortable with him that you kept sneaking off to hotels and motels to see him, even after said allegations. What person would do that? What person who's been hurt by another in that way would make a point to rent a motel room to spend time with a person like that alone with no protection? Another thing, you have very, very fair skin. If he had done something to you, the evidence would have shown. There was no evidence. The only thing that I saw on you were bruises on your chest and your arms. And according to you, that was consensual. You came home showing off those bruises like they were badges, like you were very proud of those things. So that was from hurtful behavior, was it? No, absolutely not. As for anything from my past, I will never speak on it again. Girl, that's all you talk about is your past. You just pick and choose what you say about your past, but you're always talking about the past, never about the present. When people in your chat talk about your past, then you talk about your past, including Nads. How many times have you brought him up? A lot. When you don't have to, but you do it because you want to. And whenever you bring up his name, you get a certain sparkle in your eye. You get a little smirk on your face. You want to know why? Because you're still talking to him. You're still talking to him. You have never stopped. And you're probably still sending him money. It's over for me, and I am more than grateful to be where I am now. No, it's not over. The two of you are not over with each other. Neither one of you burned the bridge or crossed the red line of no return. Make all the docs you want. It just gives my channel attention. Yeah, but it is attention you want. You are anticipating that people will join up on your channel because of the documentary. But what about the Beezers that you've been lying to about being a victim? And they might watch the documentary and go, she's a liar, and leave. That might happen. So that was the post. That was the post from Foodie while the premiere was going on. She didn't even wait till the premiere was over to post that. So she kind of outed herself as watching the premiere. Burgundy Rose Bunny says, so once again, Mr. Snowflake's video just annihilated and showed how fast she runs at the mouth before thinking. By her very unwise post and her own words spoken in his video. Right. She could have glossed past it. She could have just ignored it, pretended that she didn't know about it. But once again, Chantal told on herself, and I love that for her. So those were the posts that Foodie made during the premiere, which was amazing, by the way. And now where is the cancel? I gotta pull up the. What's wrong with me? I thought I had the tab open. I am so sorry. That is all right. That is all right because it's a quick fix. I'm going to pull it up right now. Oh, sorry about that. So I'm going to react to Mr. Snowflake's video, and I'm not going to release this until tomorrow. I'm just doing it now. I've got the energy and I've got the time, and I hope you guys do enjoy it. So let me just go ahead and share the screen. And this is from Mr. Snowflake, The Shattered Reality of Foodie Beauty, Episode 5. And for those who don't know about Mr. Snowflake, I will leave the original link for the original video down below in the description. And thank you for the gifted membership, Mr. Snowflake. Really appreciated that, sir. So all y'all buckle in, strap up, get your tea, get your coffee, get your snacks. We're going to be here a minute. We are going to be here a minute. And for those of you on my channel that you were not around for the craziness of Crackhead Olympics, you're about to get a sample of what reactors put up with for 6 to 10 hours a day, every day. And why a lot of people are wanting Chantal to go back to Canada, and she's just refusing to. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's do this thing.
I'm not going to ruin my channel. I'm not going to ruin my life. I'm going to Jamaica. I'm not going to ruin my life for someone who doesn't even appreciate it. Dude, you're stupid. All you had to do was fake love me, like, show me the world, and I would have probably given you everything.
Haven't I said that? That's her attitude when it comes to men. I don't need real love. I'll settle for fake love. Just pretend to love me in front of people, and all will be well. If you just pretend to love me, if you close your eyes and pretend to do it, since I am not capable of love, since I don't have that kind of nurturing, caring, wonderful love, I don't have that, but I have money. I'll give you money. I will pay you to pretend to like me. And this has been going on for a while. And that, Chantal, is one of the source of your problems. The fact that you are unwilling or unable to cultivate real love in your soul that you can give to people and be a positive person. You'd rather stay a negative person and pay people for fake love. And then you get mad at the person that you're with for not being infatuated with you. But go ahead, girl. Do what you got to do.
Nobody gives a shit.
Oh, I love you, Mr. Snowflake, and I love the song and I love the intro, but I don't know if the song is copyrighted. We got to cut that sound off. Sorry, guys. Doggone YouTube and their monetization, but I love your intro, Mr. Snowflake. Love it. Love it, sir. We'll get past the intro. I wish I could play it for you guys. It's great. All right, we're here. We're doing it. No music. We can't do the music. Sorry. Nope. All right, we're good.
In episode 1 of Shattered Reality, we had Foodie Beauty chomping cheese and giggling away while discussing the death of real people.
So no crosses, unfortunately, but my coffin turned out pretty well.
In episode 2, we
Before we get past this part, you're probably wondering who's the guy in the t-shirt. I'll let you know who that is. That's Karate Joe. That was her main mod way back in the day. The person that she called her internet husband, who was also a feedie. This person, Karate Joe, had her phone number. He could call Foodie on the phone, and he told her when to stream and when to get off his stream. And he was always promoting her to eat food. But that wasn't the worst of what he did. Why is Karate Joe not her mod anymore? I can tell you why. Because it was discovered that he's a PDF file. And he went to jail for it. And she sympathized with him. And you're going to hear that in this doc, but that's Karate Joe. That one right there, that piece of crap right there. That's who she made a mod. And when it blew open that he was a PDF file, her reaction was interesting. She wasn't shocked. She wasn't outraged. Her reaction suggested that she knew all about it and she was okay with it. And what was even more shocking, she sympathized with what he did. You'll hear that in the doc.
Had her been far too lenient for many when discussing predators.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Like, when it comes to sex offenders, registered sex offenders, I feel like if somebody pays their debt to society, I'm not saying like, yes, okay. I just like, you know what I mean? Like,
In episode 3, she would
So she was sympathizing with a PDF file. Oh, they've already paid their debt to society. I'm sorry. You could put a PDF file in jail for 100 years. But the victim is the one who's in their own sort of jail with no bars.
provide what many believe to be a fake alibi for her non-boyfriend after he had been accused of SA by another woman.
I was there. I'm going to prove it. I actually proved it. I showed you the food I made for him. I'm pretty sure we filmed video. And then he had plans or something. I don't even know. I don't remember.
And in episode 4, we had Foodie file a police report in a very jovial way, accusing her non-boyfriend of SA herself.
all right, I'm at the police station. Salvista Police!
It's another sign you could tell she's a fake, phony victim. Who does this? Who goes to police station almost sing-songing, here's the police. We got to go talk to them. This is not the behavior of a victim. This is the behavior of somebody who's doing this strictly for manipulative, evil revenge, just because they didn't get their way or they're mad at somebody.
Foodie told us that her non-boyfriend had kidnapped her, physically assaulted her, and sexually assaulted her. And although we weren't exactly sure what was the truth and what was fiction, we knew he wasn't exactly the perfect gentleman.
I don't see you for 3 days. I come back and your fucking dick looks like a golf ball and it has green shit coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
What?
None of Foodie's audience trusted him, and very few trusted her either, with good reason.
Let's stop here. I just want to point this out. I know it's a side issue, and the Canadian villa is long gone and it's not coming back, but I just want to point this out. Y'all see the state of her room? How filthy it is, how cluttered. Her whole house was like that. This is what she and Pete's and BBJ and Sam lived in. These are the conditions that she forced her cats to live in.
Lying more will make it worse. So don't even say anything. Just go online, act like nothing happened. Like, don't even.
That's you, not me, sorry.
Just do your thing, smile, ignore the shit. And if the cops come to me, I have a story, but don't put it online. Yeah, I'm not ready to like cry and say all this other shit. So I'm just gonna ignore people too.
Does anybody remember a stream that Foodie did in Nads's room? People were questioning her about, have you thought about Nads going off with another woman? And she said, I think about that all the time. And then she said, I'm not as stupid as you guys think. Trust, something about an Aries. A lot of people may think Chantal is stupid, and you would be right. In some ways, she is stupid, but she's smart in ways she shouldn't be. She's smart when it comes to being cunning, when it comes to being manipulative and evil and rotten and thoughtless. She's smart in those ways. Here she is talking to Nads. And she's sounding like the mastermind, doesn't she? Like, this is what you should say. This is what I'm going to say. There's some planning involved in this.
That's the only way. That's the best way.
Hearing Foodie coaching him on what to say to the public, and hearing her say she would lie to the police, did not fill her community with any positive feelings towards her. Of course, there weren't many positive feelings floating around for him either. The way he had been treating Foodie was a concern for both her fans and detractors.
And I would like to say this in reference to that. Foodie likes to paint herself the victim. She always wants to paint herself the victim. In my opinion, you know why? Because as long as people look at her as the victim, they won't even consider the possibility that she's actually a predator. And yes, she is a predator. She preys on people. She preys on people. She's a weak person, but she looks for people that are weaker than herself in certain ways. She looks for men who don't have much money or in need of money. She may look for men who maybe English is not their native language or they have a hard time understanding it. And she takes advantage of that too. I mean, she looks for some kind of desperation in order to fill up what's wrong with her because she's desperate in a different way. So she's desperate for attention and she looks for desperate men who need some money and she just strikes a deal. But make no mistake, this woman is not a victim. She's a straight up predator.
Up until recently, her main issue with him was the way he had been mistreating her. But ever since he found himself another woman, that was Foodie's main concern.
Yes, I'm mad at her, obviously, about it. But her too, like, she doesn't know. I'm not mad at her. She didn't understand why I was mad at her. So I have to educate her. And yes, I got how you could say he was my non-boyfriend. But no, he was my boyfriend.
We were now...
The thing is, Foodie, if he was your boyfriend, why did you have to keep giving him money? Because in my world, if somebody is your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you don't pay them to be so. You don't pay for real love. You may pay for a performance of some sort or companionship if it's temporary, but if it's real, you don't pay for it. They just give it to you. So the entire time that you were with Nads, you had to pay and keep paying. And here we are, 2025. You're with Salah. Is he doing anything for free? No, because the love isn't real. It's a contractual agreement of sorts. You pretend to be my husband on camera, and I'll pay you X amount of money just to show up on camera once in a while and mod my chat. Fake love is really expensive, isn't it? It's just an ongoing cost. You don't have a husband, Foodie. You've got a rent-a-husband. And boy, the bill comes every month, doesn't it?
Now getting video after video from Foodie telling us about all the bad things he had done to her. So when she showed up in one of his live streams, the audience let out a collective groan.
I came to apologize for what happened over the last week. I was being unreasonable and freaked out because I was jealous.
No, if you say sorry, then all right. You're gonna come tell me sorry after you talk about me all week. Doesn't work that way. You can't say sorry. You're gonna say sorry to everyone. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, not only me, because you are not.
Right. I was hoping that my coming here would be a private thing, but we accidentally had a mishap with the camera, and there you have it. So we are forced to be public about this. No, I am sorry.
Not really. You weren't really forced to be public about it. Because this time, like other times, Foodie, you had your own place, you had your car, you had your money. You were the one giving him money. If things became unpleasant in any way, you could have just cut him off completely, or if things became unpleasant while you were with him, you could have just grabbed your keys and walked out the door and never looked back. But you just kept going back. You just kept going back when you didn't have to. And what person who's in an abusive relationship does that when they have a choice to get away? Keep going back. You didn't have to. You kept this going because you just couldn't stay away.
I messed up.
As if Foodie going back over there after repeatedly telling us how awful he wasn't embarrassing enough for her, he would chastise her in front of the audience for telling people they had ever been a real couple.
You keep talking like you were in a relationship. What is Christmas? What is New Year? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Foodie clearly felt embarrassed about crawling back to him, but to be fair to her, she did have a very good reason for going back.
I fucking missed him. I missed his dick, and I wanted to see him.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the only green thing that Foodie has ever missed.
Foodie would often try and romanticize her non-relationship to her audience, hoping to get them back on side.
He was very, very, very loving yesterday. He shaved my head right down. We were laughing. He made me food like it was old times. It's like we don't know how to be together, but we don't know how to be without each other too.
She could try her best and try and make it sound more than it was, but the audience weren't being fooled, and they had begun to lose patience with her.
Yes, even after everything. You're a lying liar. We don't feel sorry for you. You deserve this. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that you think that I deserve all kinds of pain because I'm not a perfect person. Thank you. That makes you a good person to wish pain on somebody. You know that?
It was now Valentine's Day 2022. Foodie did not spend the day with him like she would have wanted. Instead, she watched him on a live stream while he was with the other woman.
Oh, I remember this night. It was a crazy night. Nads was getting on stream and he was essentially humiliating Chantal, dressing up in her clothes and just being stupid about her and her appearance and her size. And you would think that would have been enough to drive her away. No, it didn't. It didn't.
You go like this? Like this? Look at the fupa. Like my niggas?
You're sitting beside a fucking tank, and you're gonna make fun of my body? You're 145 pounds soaking wet. You're gonna make fun of my body? Yourself.
40. You have this, but here.
You look like a fucking string bean. Off, you're not fit.
When you know how to wash this.
And he did this too. He showed off her dirty, nasty, crusty panties. I mean, how much humiliation do you need, Foodie? I guess you couldn't get enough of that. I've always wondered if Foodie had a humiliation, degradation fetish. Honestly, I'm not even being sarcastic. Just because he would humiliate her and embarrass her, and she just kept going back.
First, when you know how to wash this first, you know how to take shower, come talk.
You're a freaking loser.
TD is a fat, ugly.
Chantal, you're so jealous.
Look at Didi. Look at Didi.
This is more of a man than you'll ever be.
Who hates Dee Dee? Put a 1 in the chat. That is a popular guy. Yeah, you would know.
If I don't make you anything, why you buy this gift? Because of what? Because the deal? No deal. I got this with no deal, free.
Go to the clinic, you fucking brown nosing. The fucking STI clinic called me, you dumb fucking.
You know, I wonder if Chantal realizes that by trying to throw shade at Nads for having an STD, she's also casting shadows on herself, because if you caught something, Foodie, how did that happen? You were in your, late 30s when all this stuff with Nads was kicking off. What 30-something-year-old woman thinks it's a good idea to raw dog a guy that she's not in a relationship with? You knew that he was a sleep around, run around, play around kind of guy, and you didn't tell him to use protection? You idiot. You raw dogged that? You did. You certainly did. And something happened because you raw dogged him like an idiot.
You gave me gonorrhea once because you're a fucking cheater. Because you talk to thousands of women all day long on Messenger. Desperate old women like Dee Dee
My
What?
arthritis? Can you go for a walk? Can you walk at least 10 steps without being out of
No.
breath, honey?
Dee Dee, you were second choice. You were sleeping at my man's house, you dumb.
My man's house.
House? Whose house?
My man's
I'm not your man,
house.
you idiot.
Shut up. Shut up or I'm driving there right the now. I will drive there right the now. Shut up.
So let's just recap for a second. Nads and Dee Dee are at his house. Chantal is at her house. And he is openly, publicly embarrassing her, humiliating her, showing off her clothing, goofing on her. And she's threatening to drive over to his house and do what exactly, Chantal? What were you going to do if you did drive over there? What, you going to call the police? Were you going to bang on the door? Why were you threatening to go to his house? And if he's such a hurtful guy, if he's so abusive, why would you want to go over to his house? Why would you want to be near him? I mean, make it make sense.
Yeah, you have an ugly comb over.
Oh.
You have an ugly bald head, so.
You disgusting ghetto gatno whore.
Nobody's coming out of this looking good. Everyone involved looks like assholes here.
That was Pete's. That was the voice of reason. That was Pete's. Pete's was in his room across the hall, and he heard all the nonsense. And for once, Pete became the voice of reason. He came into Chantal's room and said, "You're all looking like idiots, carrying on this way in public. You're all stupid."
Now that he was with this other woman, Foodie, who had flip-flopped many times already between yes, he essayed me, and no, it was simply a misunderstanding, was now firmly back to yes, it did happen.
You've heard my stories. They were all true. Every single thing I said that he did happened.
I don't believe it. I didn't believe you then. I don't believe you now.
I've never been through that with a man. I've never had a man put his hands on me before. And I guess I just was like, what the hell? Like, I kind of just like blamed it on the coke. He's a very bad, dangerous man. And that's all I'm going to leave it at.
He's a bad, dangerous man, but you kept going over there. Your charges of abuse all depended on your mood. It wasn't a matter of because it happened, and I'm telling my truth. It was about your mood and if the two of you were good or not good. And you wanted to use charges of abuse as a form of punishment. I'm going to punish you, Nads, if you don't do what I say. I'm going to punish you if you don't get into a relationship with me, if you don't allow me to pressure you into a relationship. She wanted him to bow to public pressure and say, yeah, I'm her boyfriend. Yes, we're together. He didn't want to. He didn't want her like that. So when they were good, suddenly he became a good guy. You guys don't know him like I do. We talk for hours. But when she was mad, she would threaten to go to the cops. She would stalk him. She would blow up his phone with messages and voicemails. And she would get on her YouTube channel and trash the crap out of him on her channel. And for anybody wondering why I'm sticking up for Nads, I'm not. I don't like the guy. He's a scumbag. Both Foodie and Natter, they're both trash bag humans that carried on in public. And they did it to make money. Like all of their screaming back and forth could have happened offline, and it should have happened offline. We didn't have to pay witness to all that, but they wanted us to watch. They wanted us to listen. They wanted the audience in the middle because they wanted to make money off the drama. Sure did. So she was never abused by Natter. She wasn't. But since she likes to paint that picture of abuse, she won't talk about her side of the picture, what she did, what she said. I'm sure she did and said a lot.
He had already been accused at this point by Foodie of SA, and another woman, May, had also accused him of SA. Foodie used to be convinced that he didn't assault this other woman, but now she wasn't so sure.
With May? Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't want to say. But definitely it's a bit sus because knowing what I know about him now,
I think Foodie knows more than she's telling.
It sounded like Foodie had finally woken up and realized she should not go crawling back to him. The audience had warned her what he was like numerous times. Even reaction channels had warned her.
I'm sorry, FFG. I didn't listen to you. I am sorry for that.
Despite hating the other woman just days before,
Ghetto got no whore.
Foodie now seemed to be concerned for her well-being.
Yeah, I am scared for my own safety, but I'm also scared for hers. I don't care. She can hate me and be alive. Oh, we're gonna break up now. No, this was horrible shit he did to me. You know, like and potentially death future. Like I don't want that for her. I don't. I really don't. I'm the new French fried girl, Dee Dee. Close. Yep. If Dee Dee wants to go home, you let her go home. I'm just offering Dee Dee. She might hear this and might be like, oh God, I need to get away. Because I know what it was like being trapped there. He's like told women he's gonna kill them and like he's a dangerous person. And I'm honestly legit. I know like all bullshit aside, you really think I'm just like faking it or whatever, but I'm actually a bit concerned for her. Like I do for her well-being, if not physical, at least emotional. I don't want her to stick around and find out his true colors because
to me, this feels very manipulative because her narrative kept changing at that time. One minute she was cursing at Dee Dee and spitting on Dee Dee's name, and the next minute she did this. Oh, Dee Dee needs to get away. She really needs to get away. He was dangerous. He is dangerous. And to me, this feels manipulative, like her just trying to find another angle to getting what she wants, which was Nads. Like trying to put out to Dee Dee, oh, he's dangerous. You need to get away. Kind of feels like she's trying to go into the back door to get what she wants.
9 months down the road, you'll be really sorry. You'll be really sorry. Dee Dee, hit me up somehow. If you need help in any way, I'm here for you to bring you back anytime of the night. Yeah, I think now the...
Yeah, of course you would take her back home. If Dee Dee said, hey, Chantal, I'm afraid, take me back to Montreal, you would do it, but not being as a caring female, caring for another woman, because the moment you would drop her off at her house in Montreal, you would go back to the crack house in Gatineau and knock on Natter's door, which is exactly what you wanted.
Really good time, more than any, for women to stick together.
Foodie talked about keeping this other woman safe. She would go on to talk about how she wanted to keep other women safe from him as well.
Keep other women safe equals keep other women away from him because I still want him. And I think that's part of the reason that Chantal got on her channel in the first place and painted the darkest picture of Nads that she could. She probably just thought up in her big greasy brain, if I paint this really dark picture of Natter, saying that he's abusive, he did this, he did that, women won't want to talk to him. Women won't want to reach out to him, and then he'll be mine. I'm going to paint the darkest picture I can of this man, so the only one that will want him and be able to get him is me. So it wasn't about protecting other women. When Chantal started seeing Nads, she knew what he was like. She had an idea. And what did she choose to do? She chose to make an entire channel for him on YouTube. She filmed the content. She did the thumbnails. She had to go over to his house to film the food videos, the cooking videos, do the thumbnails for him. She did all she could to be integrated into his world to an extreme degree. But she was forever threatened with the idea of he might find somebody else and start talking to them, and then he'd kick her to the curb. So Chantal doesn't do well with competition. her way of eliminating competition is just kicking the competition away. So between the dark image that she created for Natter and the way she went at him on her YouTube channel, like it was all about pushing other people away from him so that she was the only choice.
Not just one person. So I'm not going to, obviously, I'm protecting these people.
Which is why her
I don't think it was about protecting other people. It was just protecting herself. She was fixated on him, and she didn't want anybody threatening that fixation.
next move confused many.
On February 27th, I sent an email. I had sent a couple emails to the detective with proof. Not proof, but like, sorry, not proof. Because you guys were all not there. So there's not really proof, but with just some information that I was supposed to get to him. And then I sent another email on February 27th. I did send the email. I will insert the screenshot here.
Yeah, let's look at this email real quick. Do y'all see anything funny about this email? Y'all see anything funny about it? I see something funny about it. Shouldn't it say at the top, Chantal Marie Sereau? If she's reaching out to a detective, wouldn't the detective need to know and address her by her name, her real name, not Foodie Beauty? They generally address the victims by their real names. But it starts off with Foodie Beauty. Why would you use your YouTube personality name when talking to somebody who is connected to the legal system?
Hi. Upon further thought, I would like to retract my statement. I mean, those things did happen, but I find the possibility of a legal battle very overwhelming, especially since I don't think my mental health can handle this. I also have no proof. My word against his, and again, my mental health dealing with him in a battle cannot handle this. There is also the fact, and I hate so much to admit this, that I am still in love with him, even though he did all of those horrible things I'm accusing him of. I care about him and don't want to press charges on him.
Now, I heard something about the legal system in Canada, that even if the victim doesn't want to press charges, and for those of you that are Canadian in my comments, if I'm getting this wrong, feel free to correct me. But I've heard that if you are in a DV situation, even if you don't want to press charges, like the government there, they push ahead and they do it anyway. Like they take over. Something to that effect.
I'm so sorry. Foodie wanted to drop the charges against him because of her mental health, but many
Actually, Chantal also made a comment later on after the allegations, and she said, quote, I wish that I could keep the charges on him and still continue to see him. How demented is that? She wanted to continue to see him, but keep the charges in place. Why? So she could have her cake and eat it too. She could see him, and whenever she felt like it, she could threaten him with the charges. Is that manipulative and evil or what?
suspected she wanted to drop the charges for entirely different reasons.
I don't remember if I had sent that email before or after going over there. When I was there, things were like, we were talking as if like, it was so weird because like she was upstairs working, and so you have this other woman he's taking advantage of and using upstairs, and then you have me downstairs like coming and bringing him stuff, and like it seemed like we were just gonna like get back together or like make up or somehow try to make things.
You were never together. If it's a paid arrangement, then it's a paid arrangement, but it's not a real relationship. If you're paying for it, you're not in love. And he's not in love either. You don't pay for love. So if you're not in love, How can you be together? What, working together? Okay, I'll buy that. If you try to sell it to me, I'll buy it because it makes sense. But trying to say to someone like me, we're in a relationship and we're getting back together, you were never together. Not like that. Not like that. Another interesting fact. So after said allegations were put on Nads, y'all want to know what happened? Chantal went over to his house with coffee and let's just call it Mother Nature, the smokable kind. Want to go over there and spend some time like nothing ever happened. And he told her no. Imagine that. You go into the cops, placing serious allegations on somebody, and then later on, they just show up at your house with some coffee and some smokable green. Yeah. So if that doesn't tell you that she's a fake and a liar, I don't know what does.
Work. So the first step.
Foodie went over to his place and thought they were getting back together. No matter what he did or didn't do to her, as soon as he would call, she would go running back.
Yep.
What Foodie needed was to get far away from him, somewhere far enough that if he did call her, she couldn't go crawling back.
Oh, the Cuba rage. We have arrived, YouTube. We have arrived at the Cuba rage era. Ooh, those of us that were around for Cuba rage, it was something. It was definitely something. Let me add some more context though, the Cuba rage. Before she went to Cuba and spent some time, and yes, it was supposed to be a reset. That was supposed to be her hitting the reset button and getting Nads out of her system. She didn't, because she spent the entire time in Cuba raging about Nader. Did nothing but rage about her. And then later on, much later on, Nader revealed text showing that while she was in Cuba, she was talking to him and they were basically planning out like what she was going to say on the live stream, that she was going to rage about him because she wanted the views and she wanted the money. Oh yeah, she was being a little mastermind over there. But before she went to Cuba, y'all know what happened? For her birthday, she went to Nad's place and had a little three-way situation with Nads and Dee Dee, the two people that she claimed she hated with a passion. Yeah, that happened. And it happened twice. Not once, twice. And why did she do it? Because she was so desperate for Nad's attention that she agreed to the three-way situation. She agreed to it. She wanted to be with Nads. And maybe she thought, if I do this thing, he'll love me. He'll accept me. But Foodie, she don't get down like that. She doesn't like other women being in the room. But she put herself through that because she was so desperate for him. But it led to the Cuba rage.
In March of 2022, Foodie would take a trip to Cuba. But instead of using it as a nice excuse to forget about him, she spent a lot of her time trying to make him jealous.
So I have somebody come into my room at like 10:30 tonight. I'm like, I'm going to be at the bar tonight. And he's like, oh, okay, maybe I can meet you late. So then I was like, okay, so like what time, where? He's like, anywhere you want. I'm like, okay, so at the bar. And then he's like, or at your room. I was like, or at my room. Which waiter is coming over tonight? Renee. Is it weird? Like, is it weird that I'm like, I don't want to really talk about it because I don't want to hurt their feelings? Even though I know he probably doesn't give a shit. I feel like maybe he's...
She was purposely talking about this in a live stream because she knew that Nads would be watching. See, Foodie likes to do this thing always where she wants to triangulate between two men. She has said in the past that she likes when two men fight over her because it makes her feel loved and worthy and desirable. She wants attention. It doesn't matter if it's negative attention. She wants attention. And she loves pitting one man against another. When she was seeing Nads, she would go home to Pete's and talk trash about Nads to Pete's And then when she would go to Nat's place, she would talk trash about Pete's to Nat's. So both men hated each other. And who did they have in common? Why do they hate each other? Two men who had never met. Because of Chantal. Because of the things she said to each of those men. That's why. That's why. She just liked having men fight over her. So she was doing this live stream talking about Renee, the waiter, acting as if they were going to have some hot erotic tryst somewhere, somehow, thinking that this will make Natter jealous. It didn't. Natter could have cared less. He was with Dee Dee. But this is how childish she is. That in order to find out if somebody cares, she's going to do something negative. And if she gets a negative response, to her, she reads that as, oh, he cares about me. No, you just made him angry. And every time you do something like that, Chantal, every time you do something negative to somebody, something hurtful, you know what that does? Whoever that person is, it just makes them move a little bit further away from you. It creates more of a distance. And they say to themselves, I don't want to be around this person. They're toxic. They're negative. They're hurtful. I can't even with this person. And pretty soon, after a series of events like that, the gap just gets wider and wider and wider until it's an abyss you just can't cross. Too many things have happened too quickly. But you just kept pushing that button, didn't you?
Like, he would a little bit if I talk. Like, I know, like, he probably doesn't even watch me, but that's why I don't watch him, because, like, if you're trying to, like, get over somebody, you don't want to, like, watch what they're doing and, like, who they're hooking up with. That would be torture. No, I mean it. How was the date? It was nice. The date. No, I just hung out a bit, and he's got the dong. He can get it on. Oh, Cuban men are so hot. Like, so hot. Like, this guy used to be a wrestler. So like, huge. Huge. I kept touching him. Like, you're so big. Okay, yes. I can confirm that, killer hot dog. We did make out, okay? Did I get a pic of him? Yeah. No.
It did not take long for the fake fun to stop. Foodie was not happy that her viewers were doubting her hookup story.
Another thing.
And you know why we were doubting your hookup story, Chantal? Just because you were trying too hard, you were doing too much. It was right on par when you were at the Canadian villa and you staged condoms in your bedroom. How pathetic are you that you had to stage condoms in your bedroom and act like, oh, I forgot that was there. Trying to stage your bedroom to make it look like you hooked up with somebody. All to what? Make somebody jealous, make people envious, put out this image of I'm so desirable that men just can't keep their hands off of me.
I am sick of people with busted faces looking like a 500 miles of rough road, people with 80s hairdos coming for me saying I'm desperate and that nobody wants me except for money. I'm fucking hot, okay? And I'm good.
If you're hot, then why wasn't Natter chasing you? And why did you have to pay him over and over and over again? Logic, Foodie, logic. If you were a hot girl, I mean really hot, insanely hot, like off the chart hot, why were you paying for everything in Natter's life? As a matter of fact, why would a really hot girl choose someone like Natter in the first place? I mean, girl, can't you do better? As a really hot girl, you can't do better than a mean old nasty crackhead with diseases? You can't do better. You picked Natter because you were desperate. You settled for that because that's all you could get. And then you had to deal with all you could get. And you over there paying his rent. You were buying him food. You were paying for the bills. You were paying for the internet. You bought him an iPad. You took him on trips. You paid for nice hotels. You paid for everything. Because every time you paid for something, that was insurance that he would spend more time with you later. But if you were a hot girl, why wasn't he paying? Why wasn't he chasing you? Why wasn't he blowing up your phone? You were blowing up his phone. If you were the hot girl you claimed to be, why weren't things turned around? He should have been paying your rent and your bills. But it was you doing all that.
Good in bed. I'm an expert starfisher. I have a soft.
Ma'am, it is against the law to have sex with marine animals. I'm just saying.
fupa, and I'm pretty.
No, you're not.
So stop coming for me about that nobody wants to screw me, okay? Everybody wants me.
Apparently not. If you have to pay people to fake love you.
Everybody wants to have sex with me.
No, they don't.
When I go,
Mr. Snowflake and I are like, nope, no, nuh-uh. And don't you come at me, Foodie, and say, you're fat shaming me, Rose Thorn. Fat phobic, you're fat shaming me. No, it's not because of your size. It's because the sum of all your parts, ma'am. It's your demeanor, your personality. You're very off-putting. You're very rude. You're very gross. You're nasty. You got no sense of hygiene. That's very off-putting. That's why I say that.
Go through drive-thrus. People give me extra sauce, okay? When I go to resorts, I turn heads. So you better recognize. I see in a comment from one woman, her hair was out to here, all puffy and buffy, and her face was like this. Makes you feel yummy. But she has the nerve to sit there in the comments and be like, nobody wants this just for her money. Really? When's the last time anyone wanted you? Off out of here. And I don't, I hate coming for people's looks, but you know what? Bad, whatever. Too bad. I'm sick of pretending like I'm a fucking saint. Yeah, I'm coming for their looks.
Foodie had also revealed how she felt traumatized after a certain experience.
Bibi told me, you're gonna one day be in Dee's bed with them. Oh my god, I hate myself right now. And he was so right. The whole experience freaked me out because he knows how it feels.
You know, watching this back, seeing these old clips, I just got to tell y'all, it just, Foodie, I just got to say it. Even though, yes, you are raging. Look at you. You're sitting in a hotel room in front of the camera, not heavily filtered, showing your bald head, but you seem more yourself, you know? This is you. This is who you are. This is you. This is the you that you've been hiding for 3 years. But you're sitting in a room and you're sitting there in your, I guess it's a bra, just letting it all hang out. All of it. Now you try to cover everything up.
That's the thing. He knows how I feel about certain things sexually. He still pressures them on me, with threesomes and stuff. He knows how I feel about it. And then he says, "No, I love you." And he literally pushed me into the room.
Stop right there. She kept changing her story about that. First, she said that Natter was guilty of SA. And then she told this story and said, oh, he pushed me in the room and he pressured me, blah, blah, blah. And then when people really pressed on her because they really wanted to know, is it SA? She kept changing her story. She did keep changing her story. Likewise, the threesome that happened between her and Natter, which she claimed was also traumatic, later on she changed her story about that. And she said the only thing that she didn't like about that experience was seeing Natter and Dee intimate together. She didn't like looking at it. But first she claimed there was trauma attached. And then when you pressed on her, she said the only thing she didn't like was she got jealous and insecure, and she did not like Dee and Natter being intimate in front of her.
And she was like just laying on the bed ready. And I was just like, oh my God. And I was so drunk and I like threw up right after.
With Foodie unhappy about taking part in the adult activities with him and the other woman, and with her unhappy that her audience didn't believe she was hot enough, and with alcohol being brought into the mix, the audience knew that this rant could become one of her most unhinged ever.
Also, another thing that just popped into my head, and I have to mention this, when Foodie did go to Cuba, she stayed on the resort. I guess she got one of those all-inclusive packages going to Cuba, like airfare, and then you go to the resort. She stayed at the resort. She never wandered off the resort. So the only people she had contact with were people at the resort with her. She never went on adventures. She did not do anything. So she just had minor contact with people at the resort. And yet she was claiming every guy wants her. But yet she never wandered off the resort.
And it did.
Oh boy, I remember this. This is infamous.
I don't want to go home tomorrow. I want to go home, but I don't because I'm going to miss him.
The fake crying is off the chain tonight.
I need us in Cuba.
All that crying and no tears.
Help me, probably G. And this fucking old piece of shit with wrinkly balls. I hope he fucking. Honestly, this piece of shit ruined my whole fucking day at the lunch hall. He was in line going fucking back at. And they don't have fucking relish. Oh, go back to Canada to get your fucking relish, you piece of fucking old shit. You don't have relish on your burger. Ew. White fucking problem. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, Foodie was acting like she was extremely drunk this night. Do I feel that she had some drinks? Yeah. But she wasn't nearly as drunk as she was portraying herself to be. I think she might have been, I would say, buzzed, but she wasn't all the way crazy drunk.
Oh, well, like Cuba really gives a shit about your wife, Mr. Relish Man. Guess what, Mr. Relish Man? Nobody gives a fuck about your white piece of shit wife in the fucking Western world, worrying about if your husband with saggy balls have fucking relish. Nobody gives a shit.
As well as having a problem with the white, saggy, bald relish man, Foodie took issue with her audience. Again.
Oh, nub. Oh, well, good riddance then. Good riddance to me. Goodbye. Oh, well, get deleted then. No, it won't.
And that's something that you newbies don't know about. Back in the day when Foodie was making serious money, and I mean serious money, Crackhead Olympics, she was raking it in. There were a few months that she made, I believe, $20,000 one month or $30,000 and another. Can you imagine making $20,000 a month or $30,000? That's what happened with her. She was making really good money. She was getting crazy views because she was streaming 6 to 10 hours a day every day. Like the drama with Natter was in high gear because she was doing the most. Sure was. But all of that money and all of those views made her arrogant. It was nothing at all for her to get online and treat her own members like trash. Absolute trash. She would go on blocking sprees, blocking 50 to 75 people at a time. Paying members. She would block them. And it wasn't just because they were being rude. A lot of times it wasn't them being rude to her. They might just say something and she took it the wrong way and block. Her block finger would be flying all over the screen. You would just see it moving, blocking at the speed of light. And Foodie often told her own VIPs, her own subscribers, like, I don't care if I block you. I don't care if you leave. More people will come in to replace you. She let her own subscribers and beezers know, look, you're replaceable. You don't matter to me. She was riding high on that arrogant horse. Yes, she was. And talking down to her own subs.
Oh, fuck you. You know what? Fuck you. Says the Queen of Filters. Speak for yourself, bitch. Take your $2 and shove it up your ass. You're gonna need it. Sweet Jane, are you?
And that's another thing she did. She was riding so high on her arrogant horse. If you sent in a cheap super chat, she cursed you out for it. Imagine that. Somebody cussing people out for sending free money. But she did. She would put people down for those cheap super chats or the low super chats.
You fucking retarded. Kindly go fuck yourself with a fucking broom, okay? How about that, Joyce? Suck it, bitch. You wish you were me and when you.
Also, something I want to be known, back in the day during Crackhead Olympics, Foodie did not have open chat. She did not. She did VIB members only chat. She liked her hug box. So you hear her cursing people out. The people she's cursing out are VIBs. They are paying members. Sure are.
An old piece of shit. The haters, the pieces of crap who bully me on a daily basis, I don't feel bad for manipulating them. Sorry.
Ranting about the relish man and the audience was all well and good, but viewers knew what the main course would be.
Despite everything that he's done to me, I just want to be with him. Always. And I don't care about anyone else. I never do. I don't care. I fuck every day here, and I don't care about him at all. I just love him so much, and I can't help it. I fucking hate it, and I don't want it, and I don't want to love him. He's not a bad person. He's not.
He was abusive, but he's not a bad person. A lot of her VIBs, they got frustrated with Foodie, rightfully so, because one minute she'd be telling them he's an abusive guy and he scares me, blah, blah, blah. And the next she'd be saying something like this. Oh, he's not a bad person. He's not a bad person. She just kept flip-flopping with the narrative and getting people confused and frustrated. And then when they would call her out on it, that's when she would get mad and that's when she would block people. Although she was the one who started the narrative in the first place.
No, he's not. He's not a bad person. No, he's not. He's not. He's not. He's not a bad person. No. He's not. I try to forget him and fuck someone else. I've been fucking someone else for the past 4 nights. And I can't forget him. Even though I fuck someone else, I can't forget him. Yeah, I ate her pussy, so what? If you have pussy and you hate on other women's pussy, you're a traitor to women. You know what? You're a traitor to women. I'm gonna be the first person on the internet to admit my pussy smells like fish.
Ew. Girl, you need to go to the doctor. Get some medication.
All right, my pussy smells like ricotta. Dee Dee?
Ew. Chantal, now I know you're lying about getting some in Cuba, because if your kitty cat smells like barracuda and ricotta, you aren't getting none. Ain't no man gonna put up with that.
You're disgusting. You have the nerve to call me a fucking bitch. You're a fucking bitch. You're a fucking desperate loser, piece of shit fucking bitch with a gray pussy. Okay? Your pussy is gray. So you know what? Go fuck yourself. I hope you fucking drain every fucking penny you have of your mother's on Natter. You desperate, lonely, short-haired, ugly motherfucking cunt. Okay?
And keep in mind, she was doing all this in a motel room, late at night, screaming at the top of her lungs, not giving a crap if she disturbed anybody else.
Come at me, bitch. Come fucking at me. You're a bitch, Chantal. You're a fucking cunt with a fucking saggy, fucking droopy ass. And you look like a fucking man, and you're a fucking cunt. So fuck you. And you exploited your mother for fucking views? For room 172 in Lachine? And you're desperate supporting him.
You guys just catch what happened? So she was basically doxing Dee Dee's mother, who had nothing to do with this. Nothing at all. Dee Dee's mom was not on YouTube, nor had offended Chantal, but Chantal likes to hurt people. And she often likes to go after families and family members and even children. So she wanted to hurt Dee Dee. So if she can't hurt Dee Dee, she decided to target her elderly, sick mom for some reason.
I said I loved him. I don't love him. He's a loser. Your teeth look like fucking urinals after a hurricane. You deserve Dee Dee. That's all your fucking life. Ooh, let's go make rice pudding for Dee Dee's fucking mother. You know what? The woman you're fucking right now looks older than her fucking mother in the group home. Oh yeah, you're winning at life. Dee Dee, he doesn't fucking love you. I paid your rent and you treat me like I paid your.
Let's go back and review that. What'd you just say? What'd you say? Can you say it again, please?
Urinals after a hurricane. You deserve
Not that part.
Dee Dee. That's all your fucking life. Ooh, let's go make rice pudding for Dee Dee's fucking mother. You know what? The woman you're fucking right now looks older than her fucking mother in the group home. Oh yeah, you're winning at life. Dee Dee, he doesn't fucking love you. I paid your rent and you treat me like I paid
your rent. I paid your rent. She just admitted it. She's a sugar mama. I paid your rent. But Chantal, you said all he has to do is fake love me and I'll give him whatever he wants. I'll give him the world. You basically put that verbal contract out there to any man who heard you say it. You were saying to every man within the sound of your voice, if you want everything in the world, if you want your stuff paid for, just pretend to like me, even for a minute, and I'll give it to you. You don't have to love me. You don't even have to like me. Just tolerate my existence for 5 minutes, and I'll pay for your life.
paid your fucking rent and you move on to fucking Dee Dee from Lachine with a great pussy. I pay your rent and you fucking great pussy. I'm gonna post my pussy on.
I think she always got mad at Dee Dee because Dee Dee Natter liked to be in her company. Dee Dee did not have to pay a monthly stipend to be with Natter, and yet Chantal did. And you would have thought that would have been a wake-up moment for Chantal, but it never was. The fact that it is possible for Natter to be around a woman and he won't make her pay. You would think that would have been a wake-up moment of like, he's making me pay. I'm paying for his entire life. And I keep paying. And yet he's around a woman basically for free? What's going on here? But no, she never woke up.
On OnlyFans right now. Right the fuck now. Right the fuck now. Right, all right. I post. Yeah. I posted my vagina on OnlyFans.
Yeah, I saw that picture. I'm not saying where I saw it, but it was pretty disturbing. I wasn't quite sure what I was looking at.
Go check it out, Sophia. Go check it out. Tell me if it's gray. Tell me if it's gray and smelly like fucking sweat, like you made me fucking eat her out with her fucking blindfold. She looks like fucking Stephen Harper with her fucking blindfold, and you made me eat her the fuck out. I fucking hate you, and I'm never ever fucking talking to you again in life. And you're an abusive piece of shit who smacks women and fucking punches them out, but you're a piece of shit.
I don't think he ever smacked her. I don't think he ever punched her. Because once again, I say Chantal is very fair-skinned. If he had punched her, we would have known about it. She's got very fair skin. She was on blood thinners at the time. I don't know if she still is, but she would have bruised, and the bruise would have been visible. Never saw any bruises on her face or anywhere else besides her chest and her arms, and she said that was consensual. Didn't see any suspicious, alarming bruises on her beyond that.
Aren't you? Never about to be homeless. No, because you know what, Mistress Rebecca, that's the sad thing about Dee Dee. She can do whatever the fuck he wants to her, and she'll eat it up because her ex gave her several black eyes, and she doesn't give a fuck. She's like, yes, another, please. Here, hit me. She's a fucking idiot. She's seen everything that fucking happened. Fuck her and fuck her. I don't give a shit. I honestly give a shit if she gets punched out. I don't.
And what true victim would say those words? I hope that he hurts her. If you've been through it, you don't wish it upon another person. You just won't. And she just did.
I don't care. I don't care if she gets fucking strangled. I don't care. She fucking doxed her
an elderly mother, the dumb fucking cunt. I hope people call the retirement home and fucking harass her mother. I hope
that people call the retirement home and harass her mother. Why are you wishing harm on an elderly woman who has nothing to do with YouTube, who has never offended you, Chantal? Is it because you want to hurt Dee Dee? You're jealous, you're insecure, you're angry because you feel entitled to Natter? That you paid a certain amount of money for him, you're supporting him, and therefore you are entitled to own him? You can't own people. And I would have thought you would have learned your lesson with Natter, but then you repeated the same lesson with Salah. We're going through summer school with Salah because you didn't learn the lesson the first time around. And here we are again. Same situation, different guy. We're going through it because you have not learned. But you were resentful and you were spiteful because Natter didn't choose you. And you didn't want to hear the word no. You kept insisting on being a part of his life in whatever way you could. You just couldn't let go of that attachment.
people call the retirement home and harass her mother. You disgusting piece of Egyptian shit. I fucking hate him, guys. I'm going to fucking lose it. You don't know what he put me through. You don't know what he put me through. You have no idea what he put me through. Listen, your little pink Egyptian dick is nothing on Renee's big, fat, veiny black cock. Yeah, big, 3 times your size. So shut up. Go fuck Dee Dee. No one cares. Seriously. No.
Obviously, you care. You want to be the one, and you weren't the one. And your narcissistic ego just can't deal with that.
No one cares. I hope people fucking contact your mother's nursing home and fucking...
There we go again. Still wishing harm on an elderly, sick woman who's done nothing wrong.
Cause shit for you for your whole life. I hope people make your life a living hell. I'm marrying Renee and he's moving in with me with his son.
Sure.
I need kids. I need a fucking son. And I love Renee. He's fucking hot. He eats me out from behind. He don't care how fat the pussy is. He's not afraid of it.
Y'all thought that was a lot? Imagine what hours and hours of Cuba Rage content was for all of us that were reactors. And Crackhead Olympics too, it was just this bad for those who didn't see it.
Pathetic.
Okay, plug your ears. She's about to sing. This is the infamous Pathetic song.
Told me.
And this is after Cuba. After all that raging about Natter, this is after Cuba.
That you love me. Come on, baby. Come and show me. I'm so broken and lonely. I'd do anything for you.
She's singing to her abuser. Again, who does things like this if they're a real victim? Who sings songs for their abuser, wooing them back? I care about you so much. I love you so much. I will create a song just for you and tell you how much I missed you. Give me a fucking break.
Baby, it's so easy to change me. All you have to do is claim me.
All you have to do is claim me. And that was a big thing during Crackhead Olympics. In my opinion, Chantal just got it in her head that she was Anastasia Steele and Natter was Christian Grey. She called him Dom. She looked at him as being a dominant. And she was trying to act submissive to him, although she's not a submissive woman. She's just the complete opposite. But notice the terms she just used. Claimed. I want you to claim me, Natter. Versus, I want you to be in a relationship with me, Natter. Yeah, using sort of BDSM terms for their relationship. Because Natter fancies himself being a BDSM dom, and he's not. But she just got all wrapped around this, he's a bad boy, he's a dom fantasy. It was so stupid.
Love me, touch me, bend and break me. I just wanna be with you. But you, baby, you don't love me. All you wanna do is train me.
All you want to do is train me. Again, BDSM terms.
You make me so tired and you drain me. I swear I'm leaving you.
I'm cringing so hard right now.
Taking part in a threesome, didn't win him back. Ranting about him on live stream, didn't win him back. Trying to make him jealous, also didn't win him back. That song, surprisingly, didn't win him back. So what could she try next?
I'm a stalker. I had a moment of weakness, and I knew that Nader was going to be in Gatineau. Heard that he was like meeting up with somebody else or staying with somebody else.
And how did she hear about these things? Ask yourself the question. She said, I heard that he was going to Gatineau. How did you hear he was going to Gatineau? Because you were watching him. You were watching. He's so abusive. He's so awful, but I've got my eyes on him. I'm watching his every move, and I'm waiting for the opportunity to be near him. Do you understand why people got confused, Foodie, with all these claims of abuse? Because you're doing very unvictim-like behavior. This person's so hurtful, you kept chasing him to the ends of the earth, blowing up his phone, making sock accounts to talk to him. Going so far as to sending DMs to Dee Dee and her acting as the middleman so the two of you can still talk. Because the more you said about him, the more that you claimed he was being abusive, the more you had to sneak around the backside of the house to go see him.
I became psychotic, made a fucking fool of myself. Like, I rented a hotel room. It's something that could get me in trouble, so I didn't want to talk about it. Got a hotel room for myself. He is not allowed to be with me, so...
Why is he not allowed to be with you? It wasn't like he was in jail. He didn't go to jail. There were no charges. How could he get in trouble with being with you? Oh, do you mean the people on YouTube? You get in trouble with them? Yeah, because you told a bunch of lies. You painted this really dark image of Nader. You painted yourself into a corner and you couldn't get yourself out. You were very happy to accept the money from people who listened to your stories, and that's exactly what they were. They were made up stories. They weren't real life experiences because you lacked the visceral reactions that you normally get with somebody who's gone through that kind of trauma. You didn't have it. You were just making up stories. And because you decided to make up those stories and you got thousands of dollars in super chats from actual victims who sympathize with you, you painted yourself into a corner of your own making. And then what could you do except sneak around corners to go see him?
We're not allowed to be together right now, right? So I was trying to be smart and like, hey, I'm just going to drop off like a key in his room. I'm just going to rent a room nearby. No, it doesn't work that way.
She was afraid at this time of, if I'm caught with Nader, what's it going to do to my channel? What's it going to do to my views? She was very concerned about losing members off her channel and losing money. This was back when she still cared about her channel. She don't care anymore.
I really, 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 really wanted to do things differently after coming back from Cuba, not come online and rage about her and like freak out. Like, especially after the drunken rage I did about them, it was like, okay, at any moment they can charge me for harassment. Like, and they can charge me for like getting a hotel room. They can get me shit. So it's like, I'm trying to just, you know what I mean? Do I still love him? Yeah, I do. I know. I'm sorry. I feel like a stalker.
You are a stalker.
Foodie could have used Cuba as a wake-up call, the rock bottom that probably should have made her want to make a change, but she didn't. She already had this reputation.
I have to stop it here because if anybody goes into a chat and you hear anybody talking about the Lakma fairy. So she had a Foodie back in the day that sent her a bunch of Lakmas. There they are. They're the Lakmas. And there she is eating them in a gross way for a Foodie. So she was doing the Foodie content all the way back then.
Of an unhinged, unhygienic lol cow, and she kept that reputation up.
I have not brushed my teeth since I got back from Cuba.
Ew.
I know. It's just because I can't order a toothbrush with the food. I don't want to order just a toothbrush. I forgot to get it from the drugstore. That's the problem.
All right. This is my reality. This is hard.
And again, this was the environment that she and Pete and the cats lived in. This filth, absolute filth everywhere, every room, every corner. It was disgusting. Rotted food in the fridge, mummified food in her KFC drawer, fruit flies everywhere, moldy pots everywhere, overflowing litter boxes that hadn't been changed in months. This is how she lived. This is how she chose to live. Also, during this time period, she was making all kinds of money, like I said. If she wanted to do lazy, she could have done it right. And she could have hired maids to come in and clean up. She didn't do it. She wanted to live in all that filth and all that slop.
It's not funny.
Is there anything you can...
Foodie, whether she liked it or not, was fitting the stereotype.
Look at the mess that poor little BBJ had to live around. That poor thing.
Of a lol cow, someone who couldn't change themselves for the better. She couldn't suddenly become clean and tidy, and she couldn't suddenly stop obsessing over him. After telling her audience they were not allowed to be together, Foodie was caught out in the reflection of a barbecue in one of his videos.
Yep, she sure was. She was saying, I'm not going to be with Natter. I'm not around him. But look right here. Who's in the barbecue grill knob? That's Foodie. Her reflection was caught in the grill knob. And that wasn't the first time it happened. She busted on herself.
Regular viewers knew that if she was back with him, that meant it was time for yet another story change.
I don't want to talk about the grape situation.
So she's about to confess she lied. I've shown this clip on my channel more than a few times. Because every time she goes into, I was a victim and he did all these things to me, it pisses me off. Because she lies. She's a liar. She's a lying liar who lies.
Because it's very personal and I just feel bad talking about it when I know it bugs him so much to talk about stuff like that. I made it public and I shouldn't have. So that's why that's why I said I can't talk about stuff. It wasn't just about it being illegal, because it wasn't, yes, technically I was legally able to talk about stuff. I didn't lie for revenge, but...
But you lied. I didn't lie for revenge, but I lied. And why did I lie? Because I was mad at him and I wanted to hurt him and I wanted to get back at him and I wanted Dee Dee to go back home to Montreal so I could hurple myself all the way back to his house in my little car and knock on his door and him open the door and let me in. That was the goal, to hurt him and to also control him. And how does Foodie control? Through different means. Through manipulation, through lies, through peer pressure. The fact that she's got a YouTube channel, and if she gets mad at Natter and tells a story about Natter, she's expecting that her beezers are going to go over to his channel and cause all kinds of ruckus. She treats her own VIBs like her own personal private army in a war that has nothing to do with them, but yet they're caught in the middle of. That's why she does everything publicly. Because if she did it privately, nobody would know about it and nobody would be in the middle of it. She wants people in the middle. She wants people on her side to use them for ill-gotten means. using the pressure of the fact that we're doing everything publicly and I'm going to get mad at you publicly. And then my audience is going to have an emotional reaction to the things that I tell them, even though the things that I tell them are more than likely not true. But it doesn't matter because I'm their favorite creator and they'll believe everything I say, even though I'm a great big old liar. And I'm so evil that I'll make up allegations about somebody, very serious allegations, for revenge. Absolute revenge. Because I want to be hurtful. Why? Because I'm not getting my way.
I exaggerated it. I did. Oh, so
I exaggerated it. That means you lied.
I did lie. So, well, it was a situation where he kind of like wanted to do something I didn't really want to do. And I guess I just put it on there because I didn't like it. I definitely exaggerated it by making it sound like, I don't remember even what I said, but so that's all I'm going to say. Here's the thing. I know we shouldn't be together because we aren't good for each other. But I love him.
You may love him, but he never loved you. That's the part that you don't want to accept. He never loved you the same way that Salah doesn't love you. But in your world, that doesn't matter because all they have to do is fake love you, right? So real love doesn't come into this. You're okay with fake love. You're okay with just fake love on camera. At least that's what you say. Oh, I'm okay with you just pretending in front of a camera. You approach these men and you say, just pretend to love me and put up with me and tolerate me. Let me come to your house. Let me hang out with you. Let me eat some food and you cook for me. And in return, I'll pay for things in your world. And they say, okay. And that's the deal. But then you want more than what's agreed upon. And that's where the trouble comes in. Because the moment you get around a guy, no matter who it is, you get attached. And you get clingy and you get possessive and you get jealous. And then you try to tell them where they can go, what they can do, who they can hang out with. You're not entitled to that. You're not in a real relationship with a man. So you're not entitled to any of that. No, ma'am. But you feel that once you start giving a guy money that you are entitled to that. You're not. An employer doesn't have the right to tell an employee what they can do in their personal time. Just because you're the boss when the camera is turned on doesn't mean that you're the boss when the camera is turned off. But in your world, you feel that you can own people. You can't.
When Foodie loved him, the SA wasn't really SA. When she was mad at him, the SA was SA. Much of her audience had been wanting her to move on from him ever since the pair first met, and the audience were given a sliver of hope that might actually happen.
Let's look up the Canadian Idol auditions. I can focus on that and bring my new boyfriend. I had a guy tell me once, you have the biggest vagina I've ever seen. Can we go on this Tinder date with you? Well, yeah, you guys are coming.
I think I'm just gonna wait to meet guys. I think I'm gonna wait for them to meet me. Like I don't want to meet like blind date. It makes me too anxious. I gotta block that guy now. I have no neck. None. So what the deal is? I'm going home. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to that person. I will apologize to them. So I don't know. I really shouldn't have done this. This was a mistake. I'm really sorry. It's the guy.
So she had the chance to go on a date with a man and she's saying no. Why? Because she's still hanging on to Natter and she's afraid of losing Natter. But if he was so awful and abusive, why wouldn't you want to lose him?
I'm going. I'm coming. I'm coming, boy. That's him. Oh my god, that's him. That's him. I gotta go for real. That's him. Look.
And why would you do this? You're going on a first date. You're just seeing a guy and you're going to put him on YouTube right away Is he okay with this? Did you ask his permission? No. That's another reason why any relationship you try to have, Foodie, will never work. Because you have no care about what the other person wants. You don't say, hey, I've got a YouTube channel. Do you want to be a part of it? Are you okay with that? They know nothing of you on YouTube and your infamous reputation, but you're kind of thrusting it upon them. And then you wonder why they run away.
I gotta go, guys.
Is this the motorcycle guy that she paid money to?
We did have he's really good at having conversation. He's really, really nice. There's nothing wrong with him. He would be amazing boy. He would be BB 2.0, like BB 2.0. He wants to come over.
Yeah, can we talk about that? Let's talk about the men in Chantal's life. I'm just going to put my thoughts out there. Chantal, before Natter, there was BB. BB was a good, hardworking, decent man. Went to work every day, not a troublemaker, not a drinker, not into the party supplies, if you will. Just a regular dude. Good dude. And she screwed that up. She absolutely screwed that up. BB did care for her. She messed it all up. Because, in her words, he was boring. He wasn't exciting enough. He wasn't wild enough. He wasn't enough of a bad boy. She cheated on BB. And then before BB, there was Pete's. She and Pete's were in a relationship. They were actually engaged. They were together for quite a while. They've known each other since high school. Pete's, another quiet, kind of sort of boring guy. A little weird, but boring. And she trampled all over him. If you want my opinion, I think the reason why she got so wrapped around Nads is because Nads was a bad boy. And just follow me now. I think Chantal, when it comes to what turns her on, what gets her going, as far as her fantasies and her desires are concerned, hers are more of a darker variety. She's got kinks and she's got fantasies that she needs to be with someone that will indulge her in those. And if it's someone like, say, BB or Pete's, if they're vanilla, they're not going to be able to take her there or want to do the things that she wants to do. However, Natter, he's got dark desires and he does like to do wild things. So for the first time in her life, Chantal had a man around that could indulge some of her dark desires, and that added to the factor of her getting addicted to him, because for the first time she found a bad boy that she could do all of her darker stuff, desires with. So she got all kinds of wrapped around him, and he's still not off her brain yet.
Over tomorrow and everything, like he really is into it.
Finally, she had met a nice guy, and there seemed to be genuine hope that Foodie would stop obsessing over the non-boyfriend.
Nice guys would never work for Foodie because she's not a nice girl. She may meet nice guys, but she can't hold on to them. And even if she could, it wouldn't work. All she would end up doing was hurting that man and ruining and wrecking his life, because that's all she knows how to do. She is a living, breathing, walking hurricane. She's the worst of the worst. She wants a nice guy, but then when she gets a nice guy, he bores her, and then she gets annoyed. And then she cheats or she leaves. She wants the nice guy because the nice guy is safe. But safe doesn't thrill her for very long.
I talked about Never, yeah. And then after I left, I messaged Never right away and said, I love you.
To many, it felt like this was just another attempt by Foodie to make him jealous. And when that didn't work, she went right back to her other mode, rage.
Because I just woke up.
And that's something that she never understood. Why is it I'm doing this, and this to make a guy jealous and it's not working? It's because they really don't feel love for you, stupid. Jealousy is an ugly emotion, is it not? Jealousy is an ugly, ugly emotion. It is a combination of fear and insecurity. When a person gets jealous, there's a feeling of you're afraid of losing what you have to somebody else. And she was trying to invoke that in Natter by being with other men. But he really didn't care for her. His emotional vault for her was closed and locked. He did not open it up and invite her in or reach in and get something out of it for her. And that's what she always wanted, was some emotional response from Natter to validate how she felt about him or what she thought she felt about him. Because in her mind, she had deluded herself into thinking, I love this man. No, you were never in love with Natter. What you felt with him was not healthy. It will never be healthy. It was not love. It was an obsession. It was an addiction. You were obsessed with the idea of Natter and yourself. You were obsessed with the idea of owning him, and you never could. So looking at somebody who does not feel any kind of emotion for you and thinking you're going to get an emotional response from that person, not going to work.
Up and realized the person I'm in love with is living and is probably 1254. Yep, his ass is probably still in her purple bed right now. I have the purple bed. I bought it on payment plan.
As frustrating as it was seeing her go back and forth with him, when she wasn't discussing him, her content was lacking.
Good night, guys.
What?
I remember this. So Foodie got it in her head that she was going to do a sleep stream for 12 hours. And she thought she would make all kinds of money doing the sleep stream. She pretended to sleep, but she was looking across the room to the monitor to see if people were donating money. And then she noticed there was a bunch of chat going on, but no super chats. So after 4 hours, she cut off the stream.
Watching Foodie Beauty do a sleep stream was not exactly the content her audience were wanting, but they never had to wait long for Foodie to mention him, and once again change her mind about how serious her accusations were.
I'm just really tired of being accused of things that are not when people don't know the whole picture. So just being accused of lying about sexual assault and domestic
You did lie. You're still lying.
violence. Maybe for him it's a bad thing that I talked about him and outed a lot of our shit. But for me, I used my community for the past year as a means of support.
Yeah, she did that. She used her community as a means of support. Yeah, financial support. She made a lot of money talking about DV and SA that never happened to her with Natter.
Foodie told us she was sick of people thinking she was lying about sexual assault.
I exaggerated it. I did. Oh, so I did lie. So, well...
She used her community as support whenever she needed to rent. But when she was back to loving him, she didn't seem to need that same community anymore.
Right. Are you beezers getting it now? Are you seeing the picture? Is it becoming more clear? She's a user. She is an abuser. She's a manipulator. When she needs you, she needs you. When she doesn't need you, she doesn't give you a second thought. She wants you to need her. And she needs you for money. And she needs you to pat her on the back and say, everything will be okay. But that need is so one-sided. And it is so selfish. She's a narcissist through and through. And narcs don't care about anyone but themselves. They don't put any emotional weight or value on any other person. No one but themselves matters.
Whenever I feel like opening up about that happens to me in my personal life, I will. And if you are somebody who's sensitive to trauma dumping or whatever you want to call it, then my channel is probably not going to be for you.
Going back and forth with him this many times was getting hard to watch for many.
Yep, even me. Because of her DV content everywhere, I took a break from YouTube and I started doing ambiance videos just to get away from it for a little while.
Going forward, yeah, like we still do talk, but like I've said many times, I don't know, like going forward, what's going on. This is just where I am right now with everything. So our case is dropped. I just wanted to clear some of those things up. I'm not a liar. Anytime I've come on here and anytime we've had a fight, anything that's happened, I would come on right away and talk about it. So I didn't lie about any of those events. The timing and the motive for going to the police, though, I was on the fence a long time about it. And then that day I saw that I thought he was going to the police station. And then I just felt like, I just felt overwhelmed. Like, if I'm honest, I felt like a mixture of emotions, like between wanting to do, like feeling like the pressure of wanting to do the right thing. And then also being super jealous.
Y'all hear that? That whole crazy day when she went to the police station, what kicked it off? I can tell you. So Natter was an idiot. He posted something on his YouTube channel that he was going to go to the cops first and get a restraining order against her. Then her Beezers reported back to her and said, hey, Natter's going to go to the cops and put a restraining order on your ass. So then she treated it like a gigantic, toxic game of who's going to win. Let's play a game of online chicken. If he's going to go to the cops and cut me off from seeing him, then I'm going to punish him by going to the cops and saying he essayed me, he DV'd me. And I might get the bonus round where if I do that and I do it on YouTube in front of people versus doing it privately, Dee Dee might get scared and she might go back home to Montreal, and then I could just go on over there and see him the way that I want to. Because at this time period when she was going to the cops, it had been, I don't know, a few months. She'd been staying at Natter's place, and Foodie was foaming at the mouth for Dee Dee to go home. And the longer that Dee Dee spent over at Natter's place, the more incensed she became. And it reached a boiling point that day when he said, I'm going to go get a restraining order against Chantal. And she's like, oh, yeah? Well, then I'm going to go to the cops and make more trouble for you since you're on probation. So it was never about justice. It was always about, I'm going to win the game. I'm going to be the winner. I'm going to get the one up on you.
I'm not going to lie and say that wasn't any motivator at all because, yeah, Dee Dee being there fucked me up.
Foodie admitted that going to the police to file a report against him for SA was partly due to being jealous. It was no one.
Imagine somebody allegedly hurting you that way, and you're jealous of that person spending time with another person.
So many had turned against her.
Of that, like everything I was there for a long time, talked to the detective about everything, and I don't want to talk about all that. I just want to put it in the past and behind me. So I'm just gonna, I guess, continue to ignore comments for now. I think that's the price you have to pay with putting your shit there.
She knew that if that video was a live stream, she would receive backlash in real time, so she kept it as a video. People would not be happy that have been calling her out, but that's why it's especially strange that she decided to go on a panel and speak to other people.
When I say something,
and I just want to go on record as the other people on the panel, I'm not a fan of theirs either. But the fact that Miss Effin Wonderful tore her a new one, I was loving that part. She let her know.
people run with, you fucking lied about it. No.
And Miss Effin Wonderful is this lady down here.
Go ahead, explain it. Go ahead. A situation, private situation between her and I don't want to talk about, and I'm not talking about it, happened, and it was a situation that made me uncomfortable because we don't communicate well and this tack and all this other shit. Anyways, so no, I don't see it as that he was trying to assault me.
So she lied about the DV and she lied about the SA.
Now you're sticking up for him because the fucking order's wrong.
No, let's go back. I think I skipped that part.
Made me uncomfortable because we don't communicate well and this talk and all this other shit. Anyways, so no, I don't see it as that he was trying to assault me.
Now you're sticking up for him because the fucking order's wrong and you're in love with them, and at the time you were pissed, so you blew it up. But dude, that is shitty. You can't be doing that shit. This is why people get bad names for that.
Okay, look. Everything I said, I can't talk about it. I'm not saying anything else.
You don't want to talk about it, but you agreed to go on panel. And you knew that was going to come up. So why'd you go on panel? And everybody noticed the self-soothing behavior by Chantal right now. Like when she gets stressed out, when she gets angry, she eats. So she's on panel with people and she's just stuffing the food in her mouth as fast as she can go. That is self-soothing behavior.
So why? You made a video, dude.
No, because you guys are not. No, because I'm not telling the truth. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
You're never gonna know. You're never gonna know the truth ever.
We're never gonna know the truth. If you were a real victim, you would have told the truth. So what you're essentially saying, Foodie, is I'm gonna sit here and lie to your face, and I'm gonna keep telling lies on top of lies on top of lies, and keep lying, but you'll never know the truth. But yet you got on YouTube with your supposed truth and you made lots of money multiple times. You kept bringing up the topics of DV and SA and making money off of it. It was so profitable. You wouldn't shut your mouth about it. You absolutely would not shut your mouth. Kept bringing that stuff out of the closet, making up your phony ass truth.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to have a friendship with Natter.
I'm trying to have a friendship with Natter. This person, he's so awful, yet I'm trying to have a friendship with him. You weirdo.
We worked it out behind the scenes.
Can we get him up here? What is he doing? What are you doing, Natter? Get up here. Oh my God.
We're trying to work. How am I going to how it's true. How am I going to try to have a friendship or whatever with him and talk him and accuse him of that's private between us. Behind the scenes.
But that wasn't a concern when you were fucking saying he assaulted me. You were
right. Thank you.
Thinking like this when that was all going down. Now you're trying to take, dude, don't even try because I know what you're doing. You're trying to cover your ass. So I'm
not trying to cover my ass. I'm trying to make it private again. I'm trying to make it private.
And you can't make it private, Foodie, because you did all of this stuff in full view of the public. You wanted to make this whole thing with you and Natter public. You wanted to pull him on your channel, and you created a channel for him at a time when you were claiming, oh, he's a hurtful guy, but yet you made an entire channel for him for the purpose of controlling him and having yet another place to put your face. You were trying to integrate him into your life as much as possible to where he couldn't escape you and he couldn't get away from you. It was all about control and manipulation, not love. Because real love doesn't contain control and manipulation and lies. And that's all you're full of. It's all you're full of. And you wonder why you're all alone. It's because of how you do people.
I don't want to.
Now you want to make it private, because you look like an asshole.
She ain't wrong. She ain't wrong. When she looks like a jerk, she wants everything to be private. But when she tries to make someone else look like a jerk, she wants it to be public.
You don't know the fucking details. You don't know the fucking details. You don't know the details. Something happened between Natter and I. I don't want to talk about what happened because I don't want to make him look bad. I don't want
to make him look bad. He was my abuser, but I don't want to make him look bad, y'all.
I want to make the situation go away publicly.
It can't happen though because you made it public.
Yes, you made it public though. No, it won't go away publicly, but people will speculate what they want. Fine.
Whatever. So why don't you get it all out?
No,
even if you look like an asshole, get it out.
With him. And it's private. I don't want to. I'm gonna have a relationship with not talk about our private. like that, like shit that happened to us that we're trying to bury. That's why we went to
Look,
the
I
hotel.
totally understand you're
It's
trying to bury
nobody's
it, but the
business.
thing is, like, you guys made it public, so it's no longer, it can't be anymore. It's impossible.
But I forever owe you my personal information.
No, I'm
regarding
not saying you owe me anything. I don't.
Nobody's asking for your personal information, Foodie, but once you put it out there in the public, it's public information. So since you've made your lies public, you might as well just go the full Monty and tell us all of it.
Like,
No,
I don't care.
anybody. So I forever owe everybody.
No.
My right as a person. Don't life, if I want to shut up.
She only uses the whole privacy thing as a defense when she gets backed into a corner. When she's lied so much that the lies are catching up to her, then suddenly I'm entitled to my privacy and you guys are entitled to nothing of my privacy.
Go there. If I want to shut up, any day I want to shut up, I have a right to do that.
Okay.
If I want,
Well, that's the problem, Foodie. You never shut up. That's why you're a locale. Locales overshare, and you way overshare. And then you get mad and say, I want my privacy. Too late.
I can tell you something, and the next day I don't want to tell you the details. I have the right to do that. What information do I owe you? You don't have to.
Nobody's saying you do, but when you put out videos and then delete them and shit, and when we're just trying to clear up the story and you're even getting defensive with us, who clearly are not against you.
You're an asshole and you don't know the details. That's
because you won't get the fucking details.
And I didn't
fucking make up the details. You're giving a half-ass story. How can you expect me not to come off like this and ask questions when you tell some
the details? Like you're a fucking asshole doing that. Doing what? You don't even know what happened.
After this panel, Foodie was in tears. Miss freaking Wonderful had her crying because Miss Wonderful called her all the way out for everything.
Foodie was having a tough time on the panel.
Yep, and doing that self-soothing behavior. She was eating because she was mad.
People wanted answers and she was not willing to give them. And it all got a bit too much for her.
I'm sorry for screaming at you. I just hate when people hate them so.
Oh, here we go with the fake tears. Feel sorry for me. I just got overwhelmed. I got overwhelmed because I'm a lying liar who lies so much. And you were calling out for my lies and I don't like it.
Fed up with everything.
It's a tough situation. It's a tough situation. It is. It's a tough situation.
It's not a situation that probably should have ever been public, because now,
because people are gonna have questions.
But like impulsively, like I really like the YouTube community, like my community really did, like my real supporters, like really did help me. Like even some haters, like help things, like just see me see certain things, but like I feel like just like I don't know, I get all this like shit from people who are like fucking DV victims expecting me to be like a fucking DV spokesman, fucking hero, to always do the right thing, and I'm just like I just can't.
Bitch, you would never be a DV spokesman because you were never a victim.
Like I don't know, I don't know how to act sometimes. I don't even know how to like trust my own emotions and everything.
Foodie, while on the panel, said she didn't want to talk about it anymore. A situation that happened between him and her. She wanted to keep it private. She wanted the situation to go away publicly. She also told us that we would never know what really happened. Foodie would change her mind.
Every single thing fucking thing I said on that police report happened. When I actually went into the station to change it, it was because I remember, like, on the way there, I was like, so what should I say? I was talking to Dee because no one really want to talk to me right at the time. He was using Dee because I wasn't legally allowed to talk to him. Because
See, she was sneaking around behind the scenes, talking to Natter through Dee, going the extra step just to talk to him when she didn't have to.
Press charges, right? So, and the only reason they let him out of jail was like on the condition he has no contact with me. So then she was like, if you really want the charges to be dropped, because it wasn't up to me. Like I would try to drop the charges and they were like, he's already got a criminal history. Like the Crown has to decide. It's not up to you. But then I changed my statement and I kind of lied about it. Like, oh, I don't really remember. I was really high. I was high. I mean, I did do like coke that night, but I mean, I remember like everything. I accuse him of like SA because of the anal sex thing. He still would bug me for it. Like, it's like he feels like it's his right to own my ass or something. It's so like, anyway, I went to a hotel with him once, Hotel Monville.
Sneaking around, seeing him in motel rooms.
When we were just like hanging out, and I didn't order him like what he liked, and he got really mad. He's like, I'm not a animal, and then like smacked me across the face.
If he would have smacked her across the face, there would have been a mark. There was no mark. I remember watching Foodie 6 to 10 hours a day, never saw a bruise, never saw a mark. Not one, no scratches, no bruises, nothing. She's a liar.
And I was like, I was like, are you serious? I'm like, this is why you're going to jail. And then he's like, see? He's like, how can you, like, he gets mad that I, like, said that. Well, you can't fucking slap me whenever the fuck you want.
Foodie, now and again, would try and convince herself that he wasn't having an intimate relationship with the other woman. Now, though, she seemed to understand just how stupid that sounded.
I know, he's been fucking her the whole time. He's so adamant he doesn't fuck her, but your balls smell like pussy yesterday. But then when I go to the bathroom, I came out and then, like, I seen him kind of, like, do something to her, like, kind of, like, you know, he probably does that to her with me, like, when I go to the bathroom. Like, I'm such an ass, stupid idiot.
Realizing that him and the other woman were more than just friends angered Foodie, and she took her frustrations out on the other woman.
All of those messages I've sent to you is because you and Natter are responsible for me being crazy like this.
No. You had a few wires crossed and loose in your brain way before Natter. Chantal, I've heard the stories. Way before YouTube, you weren't right. I've heard the stories when you were younger, and there was a situation where you got obsessed with two twin boys, two young boys in a band when you were young, and you stood out in front of the house or something, and then the father had to come outside and tell you to go home. And then I heard another story where you hid in a man's bedroom waiting for him to come home. Like, you got crazy stalker ways about yourself. You can't blame this on Nads. Like, this has been part of you for quite a while.
You are responsible for worsening my mental health. The way you've played and manipulated me over.
And what is it you said about Pete's? What is it you said the night when Timbit died and Pete's was all alone at the house and he was going through it? What did you say? You said, I am not responsible for Pete's mental health. I'm not responsible. So is it anybody else's responsibility for your mental health? No. Especially since you're the one that you keep up the contact. You keep going over there. You keep up being around someone you know you should get away from. You're putting yourself through it on purpose.
Over the past few months is your fault, and I'm going to prove it. I have all the transcripts. My therapist has all the transcripts, honey. All the transcripts. Yeah.
What therapy?
Yeah. You heard me freaking out every time. You knew you were the problem, and he knew you were the problem, and you kept egging me on, making fun of me on live stream over and over and over and over. Oh, you can fit both.
Honestly, I think you're both the problem. And I'm going to be fair here. I'm going to be very fair. It takes two to tango. Chantal's an adult. Natter is an adult. Either one of them could have cut this off anytime they wanted to, just by saying no, just by not picking up the phone and keeping the contact going. Just cut it off. She could have cut it off. He could have cut it off. Neither one of them did. So it would stand to reason that for their own individual reasons, they want to keep it going. She wanted to keep it going because she had an addiction to Natter, and he wanted to keep it going because he had an addiction to her money because she had a lot at this time, and he did not want to let that go. So they're both responsible.
Both your legs in her pants? Oh, yeah, I remember that. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
It seemed like no matter how badly he treated Foodie, she would always give him another chance.
So that
She said it. You hear that, Beezers? That was for the people in the front, the back, and the middle. He did not essay her. So she gets on her channel from now on and says, oh, he essayed me. He was so abusive. Out of her own mouth, she said, he did not do that to me.
He's innocent of that.
Now that she was back to liking him, it meant she was back to telling her audience where to go. The very same audience she had used as support so many times before.
Yes, I'm blocking people who are not supportive. Yes, I'm gonna have this attitude forever. So if you don't like it, goodbye. Go yourself. Bye. Number one, people who say you're a bad person. You're a bad person. No, people do bad things. Doesn't make a person a bad person. Okay? A person
No,
is
you're a bad person that does bad things. It is possible for a good person to do a bad thing. But usually if you're a good person and you do a bad thing, you feel bad about it and you don't want to do it again. If you've hurt somebody, you feel regret, you feel remorse, and you go to that person and you apologize and you try to make good on what you did wrong. You don't do that. So you're a bad person doing bad things.
the complex individual. Your actions don't define you, because you're, by your logic, then only your bad actions define you. Okay? So if you're saying your bad actions define somebody, so do their good actions. So does all their good actions. So
what good actions are you guilty of? You don't do anything good for anybody, not even yourself.
does everything fucking supportive Natter does for me. He is really good in my life. I like him there, and that's where he's going to stay. My jealousy when it comes to Dee Dee? No. And actually, that's what I explained to her. I said, like, look, I know I've said some really fucking stuff to you, you know, because she's like on the verge of like wanting to get me on harassment. I felt like I was being lied to, like they were being really secretive, and it was driving me nuts, and I felt like I was being manipulated from the beginning. Like I come back from Windsor. Here I expect to work it out with my boyfriend. She's
not boyfriend.
Been watching me for 2 years, so you clearly see that I'm crying over this man, that I love this man, and you inserting yourself in everything is making it worse. But then at the same time, if he wants his friend there to stay with him while we're fighting, I mean, I press charges on. So what is he supposed to do? Be on the street? Be alone? You know what I mean? So he needed that support there too. And actually, if you go watch our videos together, if you go watch the car karaoke together in the daytime one, where he's wearing the blue and red shirt, he's loving in that video and shows me off at the end. So to say that, I don't think it's for people like, he won't claim you. No, not until things are good with us.
There's that word again, claimed. Funny choice of words. He's not going to claim me. If he hasn't claimed you, he don't want to.
You don't claim someone who puts charges on you.
Foodie was lucky she had an audience at this point. And once again, she would change her mind and need her audience for support.
I blocked her for good.
No, she didn't. This was another game that Foodie liked to play with Natter. She paid the phone bill just so he couldn't cut the phone off. But there were many instances where she would get mad at him, cut the phone off, then turn it back on, then cut it off, then turn it on. She did it so much that at one point she had to call the phone company to get them to turn it back on, because they were like, what's going on here? How embarrassing is that? That in a fit of rage, you keep cutting on the phone, cutting off the phone, cutting on the phone, cutting off the phone, to the point where even the phone company has to get involved.
But it really pisses me off to hear him say, like, he specifically goes out of his way to be like, I don't have a girlfriend. Here's why you have a girlfriend now, okay? You can call me your not girlfriend, just like you can lie your way out of a lot of shit, but I have like literal DMs of you literally telling me you love me, and that you...
Chantal, you're a con artist, are you not? You're a liar. Then you should know that con artists, they will say whatever it is they have to say and do whatever it is they have to do to get what they want out of you. And he knows the way to your wallet is through your heart. That if he says the words, I love you, if he talks nicely to you, he can sugar talk anything he wants out of you. He knows all of your hot buttons. So if you got money in your pocket and he wants it, which is all the time, he's going to say, I love you, but he's not going to mean it. When he says, I love you, what he really means is, I love your money. He loves your money. He doesn't love you. If there was a way for him to get the money without dealing with you, he would. But he has to go through you first.
You want to live with me?
There seemed to be no ending to this. Her changing her mind on whether or not he was a good guy. Her changing her mind on whether or not she had been SA'd.
Chantal does not need to be forced into telling her story. Exactly. And that's what it is. That's what it was on the panel. Are you lying or you're not? So are you lying or you're not? Are you lying or you're not? You think it's easy to come on here and say that your fucking boyfriend ass raped you? No, it's not.
He never did, though. He never did. And if he had done something like that for real, if he had DV'd you, there's no way, Chantal, that you could have done what you did. Getting on YouTube night after night after night for hours, talking about DV and SA with a room full of hundreds of people, because real victims can't do that. What has happened to them hurt them. It hurt them so much, and it was so traumatic that just talking about it with one person is extremely difficult. Because as you're talking about it, you feel a sense of shame, embarrassment, so much pain, and you're reliving it in your head. You're reliving the memory of whatever it is that happened. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. And you can't go through all of that. You can't go through all of your emotions, remember stuff like that in a room full of people you don't know. There's just no way you can do that. That's how I know you lied, and you're still lying.
So go f yourself.
Foodie was now angry with him, live streaming, and drinking. The last time that happened, we got Cuba Rage. We didn't know what we would get this time, but it started off much more fun than Cuba.
The only way
She was doing the most trying to get Natter's attention.
I'll ever talk to you is anything. Prove it. If the next thing you make on live stream is falafels, no. If the next thing you make on live stream is vermicelli, then you'll love me.
Like, all of this was for Natter. This whole thing was for Natter. Her getting on camera, putting on some lingerie that barely covered her. This was for Natter. Look at me, Natter. I'm acting wild and crazy, and I'm drinking. I'm a party girl. Invite me over. This was to get Natter's attention.
Hey, are you?
And then she did this. During this live stream, she got on the phone with Natter while she was live, acting like a love-struck teenager. Imagine that. A victim willingly calling their abuser on the phone and talking to them like a love-struck teenager.
Are you reacting to me?
Fuckface.
What?
Fuckface.
Yeah, but somebody said you're reacting to you, asshole. You're reacting to me. I'm not reacting to you.
I'm reacting to you like fuckface.
Oh.
And who gives a fuck if I react to you?
I care. You have no reason to be mean to me.
Yeah.
What do you have to be mean to me about? Oh.
Is that the face of someone who was abused or went through trauma? No. She picked up the phone under her own free will. She dialed his number when his number should be blocked. She shouldn't want to mention him or talk about him ever again. But look at that face. That is somebody who has never been abused by that person. Very much still stricken with them.
Say you love me.
Where's my thumbnail?
I'm drunk and on live. I gotta go. This is a promise. If I ever talk to him again, you can hate me.
And calling him again.
Hello.
You told me to go take my medication?
Huh?
My medication?
Why you taking today?
Why don't you have to admit to people you love me?
That's what I'm saying, taking vacation. You don't believe me. And now people believe me. Go take your vacation.
So it didn't start out as awful as Cuba Rage.
And I'm freezing in here. Look at all this mess here, behind her, on the bed. That's how she lived.
But the more she drank, and the longer the stream went on, it felt like we might get something close to Cuba Rage. And we did.
We did. We sure did.
Why do you hate me for loving him? It's not my fault. I can't help it. You don't deserve me. You know, that motorcycle guy offered to take me on an actual date. Actually loves me and tells me every day, and still I only fucking love you because I'm stupid and I fucking hate myself for loving you, and I fucking hate that I'm destroying my life for you. I'm Real Stream News. You're calling me trash? Are you serious? You hypocritical piece of. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? You're really gonna ignore me like that? Really? You're gonna ignore me like that? For real? You're for really gonna ignore me like that? You're gonna ignore me like that?
So does anybody still believe that these two hate each other? Because if they hated each other, why would they still be talking? Why? She hates him, he hates her, but yet he'll pick up the phone when she calls and she'll call him. And even to this day, 2025, they still talk about one another. Anybody believe that? Anyone in the audience? I mean, if you don't burn a bridge, that means the bridge is still there, that you can cross it whenever you want.
My boyfriend's calling me. Do you think he loves me?
I think he loves himself.
But do you think he loves me honestly, objectively?
Probably not.
Not even a little?
I think he loves you as an extension of himself. He loves you as a possession.
I'm sorry.
And Pete, what people might be asking, why is Pete's in her bedroom? It's because she was drunk, she was wasted, she was upset. And he was just in the room, like laying on the bed to just kind of like silently let her know, I'm here for you. Because he does care for Chantal. So he was just laying on the bed, like just being like silent, emotional support to her craziness.
You might be too drunk to stay online.
That was Pete saying, maybe it's better that we go. You need to go because you're doing the most.
Pete's loved me more than he loves anyone in the planet. Do you want me to make up with Pete? He's like a kisser.
Okay, now this part may be a bit disturbing. So before I show it, if you guys want to zip past this part, I understand what's about to happen here. So Foodie is drunk. She's very, very drunk. She's very wasted. I believe she was not only drinking, but taking other things this night. Of what, I do not know, but she was gone, absolutely gone. And you can see Pete's, he's on the bed. Notice his posture. His hands are folded on his chest. It's kind of a protective posture. Like he doesn't have his arms open up to receive her. His arms are folded across his chest. Pete and Chantal, they haven't been intimate in years. They were once in a relationship and now they are just friends. And once again, Foodie's about to try to make Natter jealous. So what is she going to do? She is about to basically force herself on Pete. He doesn't want contact with Chantal. But she's about to just lay her body flat on Pete, pinning him to the bed and forcefully kissing him. Like he did not want that. He did not ask for that.
Why did I kiss you?
Because you're drunk. You have absolutely no impulse control or sense.
Oh, sorry.
Foodie kissed Pete. Many considered this as air. Pete.
I do because that was unwanted physical contact, intimate contact. He did not ask for it. Clearly, he did not want it. And she just kind of forced herself on him.
considered this essay. We saw her drunk forcing herself on you.
Pete, this is important. We heard Chantal's voicemail about essaying you without your consent. We saw her drunk forcing herself on you. I know she's your friend, but that's abuse, and you're accepting it because she pays rent. A lot of women suffer this kind of abuse. Quietly, please don't. Go to the police, seek help, you deserve better. He says his reply was, it was technically SA, sure. So he was admitting, yeah, that's definitely SA, but at no point has she ever made me feel in danger. So it was easy trespass for me to forgive. Well, it may have been something for him to forgive because he is the one that had to deal with it. So it's his choice to forgive it or not. But he said it himself. It was technically SA.
I know she's your friend, but that's abuse. And you're accepting it because she pays rent. A lot of trans women suffer this kind of abuse quietly. Please don't. Go to the police, seek help. You deserve better. It was technically SA, sure, but at no point has she ever made me feel in danger. So it was easy trespass for me to forgive. Foodie kissing Pete's was not the only egregious thing she did in that stream. The Uvalde school shooting had just happened several days before Foodie's livestream, and she thought it was a good idea to put on the song Pumped Up Kicks. The song is about a troubled youth who fantasizes about shooting up his school. Foodie put on that song, and then...
And before we get into that, I also want to add this. On top of her being extremely offensive during that live stream, doing the finger guns, playing the pumped up kicks, and really getting people upset because she was out to offend everybody. Like, she wasn't getting her way with Natter. She was angry at Natter, so she felt a sense of hurt, and she was broadcasting that hurt to other people. It's like, I feel hurt because I'm not getting my way with somebody. So since I feel offended by him and I'm being hurt by him because he's refusing me and telling me no, I'm going to hurt other people that have nothing to do with my private situation. So she talked about the incident with Uvalde. And what else did she do? And I remember this in Foodie. I will never forget this. You put a huge blown up picture of one of the grieving mothers who had just lost her child. I will never forget that woman's face. She had just found out she lost her child and she was in the throes of grief and she was crying. And you thought it was appropriate to put a big blown up picture of that grieving mother on your community post, and you kept it up there. You're foul.
Do you think people have a right to hate me for liking this song?
Like I said, it was just the timing of when you listened to it was suboptimal.
Okay, but I would give my life for all those kids who lost their life, and people don't care about that. Am I wrong or what?
You are wrong, and you're drunk. But you didn't care. You didn't care if you were wrong and drunk. All you cared about was, I'm getting attention and I'm really ticking people off because I'm ticked off at Natter.
That song to me is satire. Well, I mean, is it not the American anthem or no? There you go. The leading cause of death for kids is shooting. Right?
Yep.
And that would never happen in Canada. Canada, right?
Pretty much.
If I could die today to give my life for every kid, if for never being shot, I would do it. I would do it. I promise you. On my life, I would give my life. Would you?
Just thinking, this is maybe not the best topic for when you're...
No, but I mean it.
This is Pete's trying to warn her, Foodie, you're going too far and you're doing too much. He is trying to politely warn her, you're doing too much. You really need to back away from this.
I mean it, Pete. Does that not bother you?
Mm-hmm.
And yet she did not take the social cue and get offline. She wanted to continue to tick people off.
No, they just thought the timing of when you listened to it was questionable.
Is that not a perfect time to listen to Foster the Kids, Foster the Kids? Foster the People? Or is that is that tacky?
It was tacky.
Yeah, he said it's tacky and it's rude.
It was tacky? Would you die for 19 kids? Orange size exit wound in their backs because of a sight rifles, leaving an orange size exit wound.
And I'll say it one more time before the end of this video. Y'all remember, this was Foodie back in Canada. This was Foodie. No one telling her what to do. No one telling her where to go or how to spend her money or how to live. What you're seeing is this is how she chose to live. This is what she chose to do. This was the content that she chose to do on her channel. She wasn't forced for anything in any way. This was a life that she built.
Nobody has the right to own it. These children deserve a fucking life, and they're being brought up by mothers who can't afford to work more than minimum wage. They don't give a fuck about their kids because they can't afford to. In a world of the free, in the land of the fucking free. Kids, if you can't take care of your children, please give them to me. I promise you. Please.
If you can't take care of your kids, please give them to me. Oh, heck no.
Please tell them I would give them anything to give them a good life.
No, you wouldn't be a good mom.
Drink some water.
No.
Yes.
No.
Please drink some water.
He's like realizing how drunk she is. And he's like, please drink some water. You need to come down. You're like way too high.
Dude, I'm just saying this is treat your children good.
That's why you need to drink some water. Because right now...
Don't leave me. Sit.
She told him to sit.
Have children.
No.
I want to have children.
Just
no.
He tried to get her to go off stream and she wouldn't. And I'm sure Peach was laying on the bed thinking to himself, this is so bad. This is so bad. But there's nothing that I can do. I'm just the roommate. She pays the bills. She pays the rent. I can't stop her from being a train wreck.
I'm an asshole.
when you're this drunk, yes.
Yes, and I just made fun of it. I just went like this.
She just said, I made fun of this whole thing.
Like this. What are people saying now? You know, you
See, she was doing this to get the negative attention. Foodie feeds on negative attention. So she was doing the most to get negative attention. She wanted it. She invited it. She welcomed it.
Americans are up. You kill kids more. What's the statistics? I'm sorry.
What did she say? They got him go, oh my God, what did she just say?
I'm an asshole.
When you're this drunk, yes.
Yes, and I just made fun of it. I just went like this. I just went like this. What are people saying now? You know, you Americans are up. You kill kids more.
Look at Pizza's face. He's like, oh God, this is terrible. Look, he's like, oh God, this is so bad.
What's the statistics? I'm sorry.
Okay, now I want to point this out. This may be a bit triggering. So, in my opinion, this kind of points to their dynamic. as far as her being manipulative and controlling, and the fact that she's got a temper. And I don't know what's ever happened between Foodie and Pete, but he's kind of afraid of her, because watch what she does next. She's reaching for him. He's not even looking at her. She's reaching for him, her arms out, and she's about to do this.
I'm sorry. No.
She's got her hands on his face like, you better look at me. You look at me. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Oh, and he cut it off.
There was an awful lot not to like there, and I was trying to think of a way how to put it into words, just how awful it was. But then I saw a clip by a lovely chap named Pulpy Syntax.
Yay, Pulpy!
Who summed it up better than I ever could. So over to you, Pulpy.
And what Pulpy is about to say next, I support it. I do. And he said it very well.
Well, I mean, is it not the American anthem or no?
Shut the fuck up. Could you imagine? Here's the thing as well. Like, I have to take this out of context. Well, not out of context. I have to take this out of direct impact, right? Because I am not American, as much as Chantal seems to think I am. I'm not American. I do not have that same understanding or struggle or connection to like the tragedy or the tragedies that continue, right? I don't. But if a traumatic event happened in my country that was impacted by legislature or culture or any of those things, and I was watching some drunk fuck on the internet saying that, well, you know, this tragedy happened, and so this song is appropriate and is now, Zach, your Australian national anthem. What a bitch. What a bitch. Hey, Mick, thanks for the super chat again. Mick says, thank you, Poppy. No, thank you, mate. Like, again, like, I'm not the most knowledgeable. I'm not the most educated. I'm not the individual. Nobody has all the answers, and I'm not presenting it as such. But just, like, as a human, like, don't antagonize people based on tragedies that they suffer, be it locally, nationally, like as a human being, any of those things. But Chantal just goes out of her way to make people upset because she loves the attention. It doesn't matter whether or not it's negative or positive. It's also not how satire works. Thank you, Pac. Oh, anyway.
What Pulpy said. Well said, Pulpy.
Again, just like after Cuba Rage, after her latest embarrassment of a stream, she had not learned her lesson and was still obsessed with a man who didn't even like her. But many people enjoyed watching her rage, and that's exactly what she did when he exposed the sock accounts she had been using to contact him when she wasn't allowed to.
You will massage my glorious fupa?
Now, watch the flip. Somebody comes into her chat and mentions the sock account that Natter mentions, the Krista Bazillion or Bazil, I can't pronounce it, but they say the name, and that's the name of her sock account. And she tries to act stupid at first, like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And then when she hears that Natter is essentially tattled on her, then everything flips.
Why did you call me Krista Bazillion? Why did you call me that?
See, she's trying to act dumb. What'd you call me that? I don't know what you mean. What name is that?
Why did you call me that? Answer me. Oh, really? So he wants to admit that he was seeing me when he was on probation?
And you just admitted that you lied. You just lied a second ago. You were trying to act like you did not know about that name, where it came from, and that's one of your sock accounts. Like you were unfamiliar with it. What is this? I don't know what's going on. And now that you know that you're busted, you're absolutely busted. Now you have to confess the truth.
Is that what he's doing? Oh, okay. Let's go there. So, you stupid motherfucker, you broke the law. You're so stupid. What is he going to show? What is he going to show? What is he going to show? Oh my God. You want to go there?
So notice what she did. Now that she's busted, she's going to flip it back around to her. You're in so much trouble. You're in so much trouble. You really want to go there? You're in so much trouble. Let's get away from the topic of the fact that I just lied to all of you and tried to act like I didn't know that name. And that's a sock account that I created to talk to my alleged abuser. Let's get away from that angle, because that really should be the topic of conversation. The fact that I'm the content creator and I've been lying for months about the fact that he's so abusive. He did this, he did that. But I just got busted by him that I've been talking to him on sock accounts when I shouldn't be. She wants to steer people away from asking questions about that. And why did you do that, Chantal? And you told us all these things about this guy, Chantal. Why are you still talking about him? No, she's going to direct the conversation of he's completely in the wrong. You're both wrong. Do you understand me? You're both wrong.
You want to go there, you stupid motherfucker?
You're both wrong because you both kept engaging with each other when you shouldn't have been. It should have been pretty fucking clear. Pretty clear, crystal clear, that the two of you are oil and water, that you do not love each other, that you're not alike in the ways you should be, you're too much alike in ways that you are, and it's never going to work. You guys are just too explosive together, and yet you just won't let go of one another.
So, you want the truth? Since he's bringing up Krista Bizayo.
Yeah, like we want the truth. That's all we want from you, Foodie. That's all people ask of you is the truth. And the only time we get the truth from you is when evidence comes out and you cannot deny it. When there's video evidence, when there's picture evidence, when there's text evidence, and you cannot deny it because it's in black and white, that's when we get the truth. We can't get it out of you any other way.
That is another Maria Pondu account. I'm not looking at the chat. That is another Maria Pondu account that I created to talk to him while he was not allowed to talk to me.
Yeah, why would you do that? He was so awful. He did this, he did that. Why'd you talk to him?
So the whole time that he was not allowed to talk to me, he was talking to me the whole time.
And why were you talking to him?
And that's what you're going to show proof of that? There you go. What else? Every single thing you think you're going to out me for will make you look 10 times worse. Absolutely.
But it still makes you look bad. It might make him look 10 times worse, but you still look bad considering all the times that you got online telling all those stories, Miss Victim, and you kept sneaking around to go see him. It makes you look really bad.
You think you're smart with Dee Dee? You're going to over? Do it. I fucking dare you. I dare you. Do it. Do it. Do it. You have no idea what I've recorded when we were together. You have.
Did you catch that? She says, go ahead, expose my DMs. You have no idea what I recorded when we were together. Haven't I said to y'all? Chantal and Natter, they like to control people. And they're all about that life of keeping texts and keeping voicemails and video and whatever else they can gather up, information on people. What I tell y'all before about how does Chantal feel powerful? She feels powerful by adding to her vault of secrets. The more secrets she has about herself, about other people, the more in control and powerful she feels. She's not in control of herself, but to feel strong, she wants to feel in control and strong over others. So how do you do that? By gathering up damning information of one sort or another. So she just kind of publicly made a threat. Natter, I've got recordings of you. Do you want me to expose them? You exposed one of my sock accounts. Do you want to keep it going? Because I got recordings of you too. That's basically what she just said.
I have no idea what I have recorded. No idea. Do it. Do it. Are you fucking serious? Okay. So Krista Bizayo, yeah, I made an account to message him like privately because obviously being careful, I wasn't legally allowed to be with him. But we did. Like, are you sure you want me to talk? Because you'll look so much worse. You will always, always look so much worse.
Well, that doesn't remove you looking bad. You still look bad.
You do not want to with me. You do not want to with me, Mr. Green Bean. Trust me and believe. Trust me and believe. Shut your mouth. Take the loss. Keep doing your shitty cooking videos with do and shoot and just shut your mouth while you're ahead, because you know what? You're gonna look so much worse. So much worse. I will never be able to be with you. No one will ever be able to be with you because you're just gonna keep blaming everyone else for your fucking mistakes, and you're gonna keep being a shitty person to people.
She told her non-boyfriend that no one will ever be able to be with you, but that was not true. He and the other woman would announce to YouTube that they were now officially a couple.
Ta-da! Are they fucking for real? Not making me mad, you're not making me jealous. Oh, so now they confess to sleeping together. You said you don't sleep with her, so that's proof that you're a fucking scammer. Really? After, oh my god. Oh, I hate them. Of course they're taunting me. Your little plan? I don't care. I'm gonna go on living my life, plowing men who don't use me or abuse me and are way hotter than you, but you are a abuser, sexual assaulter, going to prison. I'm going to tell in detail the whole story about that because I'm tired of people thinking I'm a liar about SA. That he's disgusting. He's using you for everything you have. And honestly, it's sad that you don't see it. So the whole outing of their relationship is to get back at me. Like, he's obsessed. Like, he's obsessed. I don't.
And you're obsessed. And you were so obsessed that while you were doing this rant, and I want to point this out really quick, check out what's around Foodie's neck. The infamous heart necklace. And who did she wear that for? Natter. So she hates him so much, but she's going to wear a necklace that reminds her of Natter. So again, it's all fake.
Oh, I hate them. Of course they're taunting me. Your little plan? I don't care. I'm going to go on living my life, plowing men who don't use me or abuse me and are way hotter than you, but you are a abuser, sexual assaulter, going.
But you said earlier he never essayed you. You said that several times during this react. He never essayed you. So you just can't make up your mind. Did he do it or did he not do it? I believe he didn't do it. And I believe that because you've changed your story several times. And a real victim would never.
To prison. I'm going to tell in detail the whole story about that because I'm tired of people thinking I'm a liar about SA. That he's disgusting. He's using you for everything you have. And honestly, it's sad that you don't see it. So
you should have looked in the mirror and said that to yourself when you said those words.
Oh, the whole outing of their relationship is to get back at me. Like, he's obsessed. Like, he's obsessed. I don't care. I mean, he is controlling and abusive, but he thinks he's a dom. He's not. I hope you go to prison. I hope you go. You belong there for everything you've ever. You not even just for what you did to May.
Speaking of prison, something interesting that happened during Cuba Rage. And I thought it was weird, and that's why I remember it, Foodie. During Cuba Rage, one of your Cuba Rages, you said something weird. You said that you had a fantasy of Natter going to prison and being there for him when he got out. Kind of a weird fantasy to have about the man you like. But I also remember you saying before that, you said that you thought it was hot to find a man who had just gotten out of prison, because if he's just gotten out of prison, he hasn't been with a woman yet, and he's all horned up, and you want a man who's all horned up that's desperate. Again, that's you looking for desperate men. You prey on desperate men. You look for desperation of some kind in men. Those are the kind that you prefer. You don't want an independent man who's doing well for himself, that has a choice to walk away. No, you're looking for the desperate men that you can trap with you in some way or another. Predator.
What you did to me, you deserve to be in prison for every time you put your hand on me. Yeah, I'm going to still talk about you. Of things that you've done to me need to be outed. I'm prettier than Dee Dee. I know. It doesn't make me mad at all. I don't care. I'm so thankful that I'm over their shit. You're a woman abusing criminal and you belong in prison. He really thinks I'm jealous of Dee Dee. That's funny. Like, he really still thinks I want him. That's fucking funny.
And another side note, So even after Chantal got with Salah, she's in Kuwait, she's living with Salah, her fake phony on-camera husband. There was an incident where she actually went into Natter's chat room. And she was screaming at Didi, saying, "You stole my man." Imagine that. A happily married woman going into the chat room of her abuser and still trying to lay claim onto a man that allegedly abused her. Getting mad about the fact that there's another woman standing next to him and it ain't her.
I have no feeling for him. Like, I have more feeling for the jar of olives in my fridge right now. Give me a break. You've helped him for nothing. He's a piece of crap, abusive piece of crap. So then,
and so are you. And maybe that's why you're so attached to Natter, because when you look at Natter, you see yourself. You see yourself. I've always said that you and Natter is just the male version of you in a lot of ways. That's how the two of you connect. That's how the two of you understand each other. Everything wrong with you, everything twisted, evil, rotten in you is reflected in him. So everything you hate about him is present in yourself. You looked for and you found a man who is much like you.
he paced around the room and then he, out of nowhere, he just fucking smacked me. Like, I didn't see him do it, but I felt it. I hope
lies.
You go to prison. I hope you go to prison. He's an abuser. He fucking flicked a lit cigarette at me. And
that's another story she kept changing. First, she said he flicked a cigarette at her, which is not nice. It is not nice to flick a cigarette at somebody because, you know, it could come in contact with your skin and burn. But then she changed it to he put a cigarette out on me. Really? Where's a scar, Foodie? That will leave a scar. You never had a scar. So you kept flipping your story about that too.
Burned me on my arm. He hit me. He beat on me.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Didn't see any bruises. I would have seen bruises. You were practically naked every day on your streams, lady. Letting it all hang out. Running around in underwear and bras. Showing us all you got. Never saw any suspicious bruises. Not once.
He ripped my heart out and I put it right the back in.
Despite her protests, it was clear she was jealous of his new relationship with the other woman, making Foodie the other woman now. And she could act like she was happy it was all over.
I'm so thankful that I'm over their shit.
But if it was up to her, it would have never ended. She could never end things with him, and we all knew it.
Yep, because even after it was over, she offered Natter $2,000 to keep the drama going, and he turned the money down. Imagine that. A money-hungry crackhead who loves money turning $2,000 a month away. And why would he do that? Because he didn't want to deal with all of her crazy. She was just too much. So he said no.
I would ever go back there. Never in a million years. Never, don't ever contact me. Like, I swear, I will. If you contact me ever again, no, don't ever. If he thinks I'm going to talk to him ever again after this, he's on drugs. If I ever talk about them again, hang me. And I'm never, ever talking to you again in life.
Before he came into Foodie's world, she was already viewed as a lolcow. But her behaviour while with him changed the view on her from just another lolcow to someone much, much worse.
I exaggerated it. I did.
I exaggerated it. I did. Talking about the abuse. I exaggerated it. I didn't lie for revenge, but I lied. What's the saying? If somebody shows you who they are, believe them. So when someone like Foodie shows you that she's a liar, believe her. Believe the fact that she's a liar. Believe the fact that she's a manipulator and all she does is manipulate people and hurt people. Believe that, because that is a constant with her. It's a constant that she's always going to lie, and she's going to keep telling lies, and she's going to find new ways to manipulate people, get what she wants out of people, hurt people. That's where her focus is.
There were so many things she did while he was around that were not okay. Her being under the influence, then driving home. her tirade while in Cuba, her drunken stream doing finger guns, and her being obnoxious while talking about a very serious matter, going back and forth on whether or not she had been SA'd, and Foodie using her audience when it suited her.
I love the money. I love money, but I love you guys more.
She lost so much support during this era with him, and it was her fault. But now that he was officially with someone else, maybe now she could move on and find a man who wasn't as problematic as he was.
Not the woof woof. And that essentially ends the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this react. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And don't forget to look down below. Check out Mr. Snowflake's channel. The link's down below in the description. And thank you, Mr. Snowflake, for taking the time to put this episode together, because even before the episode was done premiering, she was already raging, and I'm sure she's still raging. So y'all have a good one and see you later. Bye.